We are here for probably the biggest match, in my opinion, of week 2 of season 11. We have Albert's Inferno's debut series. They did get a break week last week, and they are playing against Skaven Kill Team, who are looking to get their first win of their Scrim Zone tenure. I think right now they are riding 15 losses in a row, and Apari has sworn up and down that they're going to break that streak. However, he is not playing today. But on that note, we will get to look at who is playing today, and that is going to be these rosters right here. Brewer and Alec, you want to run through them?
Yeah, we can take it away here. I'm pretty excited for both of these teams. I'll say both of these teams kind of have unknowns for me though, so I'll talk about Inferno, I guess. Canuck, I've never actually seen him play before, and he's coming in, kind of filling the top lane role. To me, that was kind of the question mark on who's going to play top lane for this team. So I'm excited to see how he does. Albert and Omar continues; they're back again. Been the same mid jungle, played together for a long time now. Excited to see them. Brian, also a little bit of a newer player. I've seen some games for Brian, but actually more in top lane. So seeing Brian go 80 carry is going to be interesting. And then Draco's a longtime player in the server, but what's exciting to me this season is I think Draco's going to finally get to play more of what's her main role. She's kind of just played top lane or just jungle or just kind of filled for this Inferno team the last few seasons because they've usually had such a clear support player. And now Draco getting to go to that primary role, that's really exciting because I actually think Draco is one of the better supports in the server, and getting to go up against Sam S, that's going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Going on to the other side, Alec, do you want to run through SKT or do you want me to take it? We have seen a lot of these guys a lot, but we do have some new players here.
I am like familiar with some members on the SKT roster. I mean, Apari is like pretty staple. Has been playing for quite a while now. Tuxedo is a new member to Scrim Zone, but I am familiarized through him through other people, and apparently he is a very scary Aatrox and Yone player, so that should be very exciting to see if they do let those two champions through. For the other members of SKT, I think that I believe I actually have played. I think I've played either a game or two against GameCase. I think he's played a pretty solid mid lane, and I am familiar with Faye and Sam S, but I believe you guys are probably a bit more familiar than I am with them.
Yeah, but Faye, I think is a three-role threat player, to be honest. I think Faye's ADC has probably looked the strongest, in my opinion, but due to playing a lot of the other roles, I think has a bit of a weird champion pool, which is definitely in their favor.
But yeah, Faye has kind of a wide champion pool. Seems to really favor the Jhin, the Caitlyn, those kind of picks in bot. But then, I mean, to me, the star of this team so far, and even last season, has been Sam S. Kind of the linchpin for this team's success. I mean, even in some of their losses, he's showing a really strong performance. So to me, you added GameCase, who I echo Alex's sentiment. I think GameCase is a pretty solid player, and then now you're adding Tuxedo, who's supposedly this carry threat. To me, you're giving just this team a lot more angles in which they can carry, and when you're going to add in Sam S's continued good support performances, I think this SKT lineup could potentially be pretty scary.
Yeah, I think this is... Oh, I'm streaming on the wrong channel, apparently. So let me
go ahead.
Real quick. Shit.
Oh, you're good. Hold on, give me one moment.
Minesweeper guy.
Oopsies. Okay, cutting, and then I'll swap it. We are back. I messed up and streaming on the wrong account. Thank you so much to Bean for pointing that out. But draft should be starting in about 45 seconds, unless both teams had agreed to get to 8:15. But no, I think we should be getting to draft any minute. I think Kane is a possible ban here. Apari is known for it, and I think we are expecting to see the draft links just disappeared.
Yeah, I do expect Kane will probably get banned. Apari did actually get to play Viego in week 1, which is a champion that's been banned against him a lot in the past. So I'm curious to see, was that just that team was willing to give the Viego? Are a lot of teams going to be willing to give the Viego? I think with Fearless Draft, some of those champions can kind of get let through, for the one game. We've certainly seen other teams leave open players' best picks kind of so far this season to varying levels of success. For Inferno, I don't really know where their priority will be. I think all the players at least that I'm familiar with on Inferno, I think have pretty wide champion pools. So I don't think any of them are super prone to target bans. I think you can kind of pinch Albert's pool and kind of send him in one direction if that's what you want to do. But for the most part, they all have multiple picks that I think they're going to look comfortable on.
Yeah, I think side select actually did change. Inferno actually did select red side, which I think possibly to help Canuck into Tuxedo. I think people have kind of been talking Tuxedo up as the person who's going to help this team out a lot. Sam S obviously is going to be holding it down in the support as a really strong player, but I think having counterpick for one of the solo lanes after they've, I guess, quote unquote, upgraded on SKT is a good idea. However, I don't expect Omar to really be the one to get the counter pick. I expect Omar's champion to go through a little bit early, not because he has a limited champion pool, but because he has a lot that are super high priority. But I do think of the people who would be limited champion pool wise, I think Albert would be the one, if any, on Inferno. And I do think we'd see the same issue in the jungle over for SKT. So I'm really looking to see if these players are looking to pick up junglers that overlap with each other. I think that could be something to look at. I do want to look at the jungle matchup after we get through draft, but it looks like they're trying to start it up now, so I don't want to switch over right away.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to go. And I'm excited to see what's the first pick priority going to be. I think if you leave something like the Viego up, Apari will probably just slam it, or he'd be willing to. Draco's definitely a player that I think favors some of the enchanters. So I'm curious to see what angle of attack Sam S is going to take into that champion pool. And does he go for something like a Blitzcrank, a hook champion? He's played the Braum to great success, although I think enchanters do pretty well into Braum, so maybe that's not the direction you go. But we're about to see the first ban. Honestly, though, I'd be surprised if they actually do ban junglers. Just knowing Apari, I feel like he's the kind of player that's going to say, I don't need any bans, and they'll probably just let Albert have whatever he wants, and instead looking to ban away the Varus, which has been a strong champion on the patch and is really good in multiple roles.
Yeah, something that I want to note, we didn't actually get to look at the key matchup, but it was support, and neither of these two players have played against each other yet. I think Sam's sitting about 70 games of support, and Draco's sitting at about 30. So the fact that neither of these two players have run into each other, I think is really interesting. So I'm very excited to see that matchup. I think Inferno probably packing a bit of a stronger ADC, so I don't think it's necessarily going to be the most even one-to-one support matchup going forward, but I think SKT has a lot of power elsewhere on the map, so if Draco's trying to do a lot more roaming, I think we're going to see some stuff there. I don't know what the... Okay, Kane is the first ban there. It did not go through, but I'll pull that up for us.
All right, Kane, no surprise there. And Lilia actually didn't get taken away from Albert, which I believe is his most comfortable favorite champ, so...
Looks like they are going to take the Aatrox away from Tuxedo.
Yeah, you shouted that one out. Supposedly a really great Aatrox player. I hope we get to see it at some point. You'd also mentioned, I believe it was the Yone. Is that what you'd heard as well?
Yeah, the Yone as well.
Okay. So one thing to me that I thought was interesting was last week GameCase really favored the supportive mid lane picks. He played a game of Karma, I think a game of Morgana as well. I'm curious to see, is he going to stick to that style or maybe go for some more carries here?
So Yone is going through. I wonder, I feel like if GameCase is able to play it, I think that's a really good flex pick, and you could just pick it early in the draft, but if it's just for Tuxedo, I think you might not want to just blind it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and the Viego did get banned, as you saw, so both of Apari's kind of main champs gone. Curious to see what he goes for now. Ezreal just getting first pick for Faye. Don't hate it, don't love it. We'll see how that shape fits in the overall draft.
And I'm wondering on this side of Alberts, I wonder if they are going to pick something a bit more aggressive. Not that you see, they will.
Yeah. Yunara has been a really strong champion on the patch. I've heard a lot of the ADC players on the server talk about how they feel like it's maybe the strongest champ, strongest AD carry. Other champions I'd love to see. At the end of last season, Omar was just straight up drawing Akali bans because he looked so damn scary on it. I'd love to see him go to that because we've already seen some other players play the Akali to pretty good success this season.
Yeah, I think that the Akali with like the new Gunblade build is like just a very powerful pick. I mean, you have like 80 scaling on like 3 of your abilities. Um, and you also get like the Omni Vamp, which is really nice, like helping you sustain in the fights. And with Akali, like just having like that like those like really nice stats on you just is like just key, I think, to playing the champion.
Albert did go for his Skarner, which to me is like kind of his original signature pick. I think he's kind of leaned more towards the Lilia lately. Skarner's kind of not been as strong, but if there's any player that I'm happy to still see pick Skarner, it's Albert. He's looked really good on it, and Frostbite in particular had some really great plays that I just hadn't really seen other Skarner players pull off lately. But Vi as the answer, I don't know how that goes necessarily, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm
not really a
assuming the
champion I
Vi.
associate.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I'm
the
assuming the
Vi
Vi's
is for
locked
the
in to deal with
Yunara.
Yunara, just having point click CC on it, and I think that's actually something Skarner's going to struggle into a lot with the Ezreal and also the Hui. Additionally, the Hui you're going to need to get a really good flank angle to be able to get on top of, and the Ezreal I think basically should never get hit by the Skarner ultimate. So I think you're kind of hoping that there will be some good frontline to target, but Omar slamming the Akali counter into the Hui. I'm not sure how that matchup goes. I assume the two mid laners in the call will have a better read than I, but I think Omar's happy with the comfort pick here.
Yeah, I think that post 6, like or 6 and post 6, I think that it does become like very difficult for like Hui to be like be like safe. I'm assuming that like game case might want to opt into like resolve secondary and just take like either like an some like anti burst rune, or like maybe even opting into like taking overgrowth to like be able to like withstand like Akali's like later bursts. And it is going to be interesting to see how like Omar will approach the side lane like later in the game.
I think
Yeah,
the
I
Aurora
agree.
band's really interesting here. I guess Tuxedo could play at top, but I think looking at this draft, I'd be pretty confident that this is going to be Hui mid and Ezreal bot. But I guess it is possible that Sam would end up playing the Hui. But I mean, Aurora as a ban against only top lane, I think is a bit interesting.
I would love to see Sam S actually go for what we saw PB play the other day into an Akali, which was the Galio support. I think it could be pretty good here. Pairs well with the Vi. I don't know if that's in his pool. They are going to ban the Thresh, but you definitely need to draft some more lockdown than just Vi, in my opinion, because you have Akali and Yunara to worry about now. So I think jungle and top here need to have a lot of CC.
For sure. I think support is able to pick up CC for both. And I think maybe, like as you said, Nautilus would be good. There's a few other champions. Leona is another one that I'm thinking of. Although, again, it's really hard to lock down the Ezreal with it, although Hui is going to suffer pretty drastically into the Leona.
Yeah, I just feel like you're putting a lot of weight on Faye in this draft already, because it's going to be hard for this way to really play out team fights. The Ezreal is going to be the character that can potentially space out all the engage from Inferno.
I think if Tuxedo, I'm not sure if he plays it, but I think that Zaheen would be very good here. I mean, generally, like the only champion he'd really have to worry about is like Yunara, but like Vi should be able to like to help lock it down. And they are going to go for Rakan on 4, which is a pretty good pick, I think. Like just being able to have like that snap engage that can follow up right onto the Vi.
Yeah, I definitely prefer a bruiser pick here. Like you said, I think Zehen would be a good option, but something to put out more damage, because I feel like Vi, if she goes the tankier build, might have a bit more success being able to survive as she goes to lock down the Yunara or the Akali, because she can only target one. She can get pretty bursted as she goes in on the other. And I think Ambessa fills that role really nicely.
Yeah, I like the Ambessa a lot here.
Renekton
Really
is
good follow-up
an
on
easy
Vi.
champion to pick here, though. But it doesn't really do much into the Ezreal or Hui, so I think it could be kind of bait. Maybe like a ranged champion would be good for Inferno to increase their range. I feel
Poppy
like
would,
Akali and
Poppy
Yunara
would
are
be
kind of
good here.
short range, but
Oh, okay. Polybear.
instead of a hovering volley. Also decent matchup into Ambessa, and I think scales a little better than Renekton does, but has the same problems. And with what we saw in the Metabuster series where Jacob played the kind of like full damage volley build, I think you're just going to get annihilated by Hui and Ezreal. So I think we might need to see a more tanky Volibear build, which leaves Inferno with not a ton of damage. So I'm not
Yeah,
a
I will
huge
say, I
fan of
think
this
you could
pick, but if it goes well in lane, I think it's fine.
Yeah, you could potentially snowball a little bit harder than someone like Jacob was able to the other day. You know, you're in top lane. If you're able to get a good gank off, start winning the lane, you start beating Ambessa 1v1. I think you could hit those item breakpoints faster, and then maybe it could work better going that damage route, but we'll see. But I mean, I don't think you're going to be hurting for damage in any regard when you have Omar and Brian on such high damage carries here.
That's true. I just wonder how much damage Akali is like consistently able to do, just because if you don't get the combo off on the right people, then you tend to just kind of do nothing. Whereas Yunar is more easily able to apply it, and same with Wei and Ezreal, where they can just kind of fire damage in the general direction of the enemy team, and they're sure to hit someone if people are clumped.
How are we feeling though after you've seen both drafts? Does this look like a SKT favored draft to you? Or you think this is where they maybe can find their win?
I think so. I think the threshold of execution is a little higher, and I don't know what the comfort level on all these champions are. We've definitely seen Faye Ezreal some, but I think Faye's looked better on other champions potentially. Whereas I feel like everyone in Inferno is on one of their most comfortable champions, exception of Canuck. I'm not entirely sure. My team did actually scrim against Draco's Leona, and it made us all want to uninstall the game. So that pick alone is making me favor Inferno.
Yeah, we'll see how Tuxedo looks, but I do think you're putting a very high level of execution onto Faye and onto Game Case. And while I do think Game Case has looked fairly strong, I think Omar and Akali in particular is a really strong player. I'm going to give the edge to Omar, and then I think you're putting a ton of weight onto Faye, and we'll see what they can do here. But I'd probably favor the Inferno draft right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big concern for them is that Leona and Skarner are going to have a lot of issues hitting onto the Ezreal. So I think, as you said, I think it's really just all up to Faye.
Yeah, I mean, if the Ezreal's spacing out really well, and they're not just letting Omar find insane flanks, I definitely think this is a game where an Ezreal could take over. I'm just going to have to see it.
Yep. And I did want to take a peek at this key matchup, which I have manually overridden to be Apari versus Albert. Albert's actually up 6-4 in this matchup, and they have very little overlap in their champion pool. I think literally nothing is in common across this, so I think my concerns of Fearless being a problem in this matchup are very lowered. I was not expecting it to be this severe. And I'm going to try and get our champ assets pulled up in a sec so we can look at those two.
And I mean, it's kind of fun seeing these teams play off at the start. I mean, SKT, as everyone knows, is still looking for their first win in 3 seasons. But Inferno has also not made playoffs the last 2 seasons. So they've also been a team that, while they've gotten wins and they've shown some really good performances, they've also struggled. Or I think they made lower bracket maybe last season, but they've struggled to really push any sort of advantage.
No, I think you're correct. Into a season. I think they have series where they shined really well, but I think their consistency over the season hasn't been great. I think they often drop series to teams that I think they should be capable of beating, and I think this could be one of those windows where that happens this time around. But yeah, actually,
but you know what
and Albert
out
are the
to me,
only
Dean? I'll just
matchup
say,
who have played each other at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you know what stands out to me, Dean, is through all that, Inferno has still consistently been a step above SKT.
Yes.
So to me, this is still a really good test to see, is this SKT team leveled up? Because if you can't take out Inferno, I think you're kind of sitting here wondering, is this just going to be another season like last season? Because I think Inferno is kind of the test mark for them.
I am curious what the record between those two teams are. Albert's Inferno did get the up on them in season 9. And I guess SKT hasn't won a series. I don't know why. Okay.
Yeah, season 9 and 10.
Whoops. I was like, oh wait, maybe there's whoops. Anyway, I feel like Alberts tends to lose to teams that they should beat, but I guess more so in like the 5th and 6th margin. And as we talked about on the podcast last week, I think the fact that there's fewer spots percentage-wise in playoffs, I think it makes this series all the more important. And I think whichever team wins this wants to make sure that they capitalize and win a bunch of other series to try and get themselves a better chance, because I would hate to see both these teams not make playoffs again. But going forward, the past performance on these champions, actually Tuxedo and Game Case have both played these characters in Scrim Zone before, and I think given that both of them have a decently low game count, I think that is significant. So I think it does mean that they're a little higher on the list for them. Apari's Vi, however, not inspiring confidence win rate wise, but Sam's 4.5 KDA on Rakan, I think he probably just got team gapped a couple times on that. And Omar and Albert actually having very negative win rates on Skarner and Akali is very interesting to me, and first time champs for everyone else.
Yeah, that is. As much as we're saying there's going to be a lot of weight on Faye to perform this game, I think there's a lot of weight on Apari. Like, yes, you have some follow-up engage with the top lane and with your support on the Rakan, and Sam can sometimes probably find those engages. They're really going to be relying on Apari to find good ultimates, to find good initial engages. Because I think if the Vi can almost go in and set up the Rakan, that could be your best looking fight. And the fact that it's a 1-3 win-loss with a 1.91 KD on a champion like Vi tells me this player may be struggling sometimes to know when to go in. It seems like you're picking up a lot of deaths, and on a champion like Vi, if you go in at the wrong time, it's hard to get out.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to just like.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I think it's really easy just like, to die on Vi. I mean, it is a champion that does just go in, and you're normally not going to be like able to like get to like, the like third like defensive item that's like going to keep you alive in those fights. Normally it's going to be like either like an Eclipse, a Sundered, and maybe you get like you're able to get a few autos off, but it doesn't take long for something like an Akali or Yunara in this case to just burst you down.
And I did want to point out Omar, who has a similar win rate to Apari, but 6.07 KDI, so we're safe. But
I cannot believe he's 2-5 on that champ.
I feel like often Omar plays into and gaps the hell out of his laner, and just again, Albert's Inferno is not a team that's been very winning, so I think it's easy to have a lot of losses accrued. I think it's kind of the same position as Sam S, but I feel like Akali is, I mean, people can say that she's unfair with the smoke screen and stuff, that should keep her alive, but as any assassin, I feel like if you go in and you don't have the damage, it is easy to rack up a lot of deaths. So the fact that he has that 6.07 KDA in like 5 losses too is really impressive. So I'm hoping to see a really good performance from him there. Season and overall records, I don't care too much about. Nothing's super sticking out to me here. But the champion matchups, we've actually never seen any of these lane or jungle matchups in Scrim Zone. No Vi Skarner is really surprising to me. But we have seen Ezreal Yunara and Rakan Leona, which are kind of flip-flopped in which way they go. So I don't know if either of you have opinions on who we should be favoring for bot lane with these matchups.
What do you think, Alec?
I think for this matchup specifically, I mean, I think it is just a Yunara like Leona favored lane. I mean, like it's kind of hard for Rakan to play against Leona to begin with. She does have a point and click stun. I think it really is on the Ezreal to play the lane very, very well, like to like perfectly like keep like the Yunara and Leona like spaced while also like weaving in autos between your abilities and like making sure to knock it. Like, if you do get hit by Leona E, you have to like, like buffer it and like E like to like, maybe like bring her like further back away from the Yunara to like try to like get like a winning trade.
Yeah, I feel like people have mixed opinions on the Leona Rakan matchup. I think some people like it because Leona is able to chase Rakan through all the dashes, and some people dislike it for the same reason, because Rakan kind of, if he ends up getting hit by the E, he has a say in where Leona ends up, which cannot always be in her advantage. And I think Sam is one of those like very mental based players where he knows how to kind of manipulate abilities like that. So if he's able to pull something off, I think that could be really interesting. But as you said, the point and click for Rakan does suck if he goes up and dashes right into the queue. No counterplay to that. Spectator delay is about to end, so we actually should be getting the game in like 15 seconds or so.
Awesome. Where do you want to see these junglers put their attention early? That's to either of you.
Probably top lane. I think Ezreal and Rakan are going to be really hard to gank, and if Alec's right and Yunara and Leona are very favored, it might be hard to try and gank for them. I think Apari has angles to go bot. I think Skarner is going to have a real hard time ganking bot. I think, personally, I would probably leave the Akali Hui lane alone and just let them duke it out themselves. I think if Hui's able to position well and his abilities and play in a position that keeps him safe, he should be fine enough, and it's very easy for Akali to find the kill even while being ganked. Although with Vi, the point and click lockdown is very helpful. So I think Skarner is more limited in his options, so I think he basically needs to go top to try and get an advantage for the Volibear into Mbessa. It's going to be really hard for him to gank Hui unless he has really creative angles, and Ezreal and Rakan are going to be nigh impossible for Skarner to gank.
I mean, one of the big things I think in this game specifically is a lot of these champions actually have very high like skill ceilings with them, and so what you're basically going to be looking at is like this ambassador like trying to like perfectly like keep like the Volibear like away, like not letting like the Volibear just get like a free stun, like holding like her like ability so that she can like trade and dash away, like dash and trade and then dash away, and then like like bot lane, like I said earlier, like Ezreal needs to like play like space really really well to make sure that he doesn't get like caught by like any of the CC from Leona.
And we are in game. I don't know if we'll see any level 1. The Apari ward could happen though. They're immediately question mark missing pinging on the Apari ward location, so Inferno may be aware of it at the very least.
Yeah, they might be aware of it, as so far it appears that nothing really happening, as like in this new season there is not much that you can really do in the early game. I feel like or there's just a lot less time to like wander around and like look for things, as the wave just like it crashed like so early on.
Hui opted for the exhaust, while Omar chose to go with the teleport. So Hui wanting to have a little bit more survivability will make it hard to match side lane, though, later in the game.
Yeah, I've noticed Omar just in scrims, we've played them a decent time. He tends to favor the TP, even in matchups where I feel like he could get advantages from the other spell. Obviously, in direct contrast to what our mid laner likes to do. But I think it is just comfort for him, and having the TP, I think he tends to usually have really good rotations when he uses it.
Yeah, and I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the Ambessa that opted into bone plating in this matchup, which I think probably makes a good amount of sense. I mean, like generally, like it kind of makes sense. Like Volibear generally has like pretty short trading patterns. Like you're gonna want to trade in and out, and so far, remaining top lane relatively even.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say the opposite. When I played a bunch of volley top, I loved when people would go bone plating, because you can just proc it with your passive on the wave and make it basically useless if you play around it correctly. So I wonder if Canuck knows how to do that. Oh, he goes splashes into the ignite and just takes first blood. Double sums burn.
Kill.
Yeah.
Oh my
And that's the issue with bone plating. So it gets procced off lane. So it doesn't even matter.
The bone plane doesn't really matter much when you just flash just like W onto like the Ambessa. And wow.
Yeah, Tuxedo.
Yeah, we're sitting here talking about Omar looking, but we're sitting here talking about Tuxedo, the new player, supposed to be the big. I've not seen Canuck play yet, and he's looking damn good in the first 2 minutes.
They're looking damn good, and Leona is going to miss out onto the Rakan, as more and more it appears that both sides slowly just poking and prodding each other, trying to find an advantage. But man, that was a really nice solo kill from Canuck, and wow, not was I expecting out Tuxedo to not respect the early Volibear power.
Yeah, and I mean, I said that in order for the Volibear to have use...
Ezreal does dash in. Leona is going to connect with her Con W on top, and Yunara is autoing more and more and more, and they're going to... double flash is going to be burned out of the bot lane, but in comes Apari, as it looks like they might just get chased down. They don't have any flash, as I'm pretty sure the Con W might be coming up soon, and it does come up. Double knockup coming out from Sand. Ezreal Q over the top, as in follows Apari, and he's going to take down the Yunara with the E, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be 2 kills going over to SKT.
Yeah, and
very
Apari
well played.
And Faye, you were saying that they needed to have really good execution, and boom, that's a kill on each of them to start off the game. But kind of as I was saying earlier, really I think the Volibear pick needs to get ahead early and needs to make a point to keep the Ambessa behind in lane for it to be a good pick, because I think it's kind of bad in everything else, and he's doing a good job of that so far.
Some pretty good trading coming out here from Game Case. I'm not sure Omar. It looks like
Game Case doing a nice job in this early lane. I definitely think in lane phase the Hui is very favored. In team fights and in side laning, I think that's where Akali can find the advantage. But already built up a decent CS lead in mid and getting that health advantage. That's really good stuff that the Hui needs to do.
Yeah, very good stuff that the Hui needs to do. And as you see in the top lane, Canuck is just able just to crash another wave. And this lane just looks really, really difficult for the side of Tuxedo.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the items in top lane right now. Still starting item and refillable to a full blasting wand on the side of the Volibear, so has the big advantage at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Looks like that so far. I mean, looks like Omar does spot out Apari on his Raptors, so he does know which side that he is going to be on. As it looks like he will just path bot, and a pretty good trade coming out from the side of Tuxedo now.
It looked like Canuck might have taken a tower shot with how big that chunk of damage is.
Yeah, it looks like it.
The Vi is setting up for a play bot lane potentially. He's sitting on a control ward. If Brian and Draco walk up too far, they could be in trouble, but I think Apari's just going to choose to start the dragon. Like, he can't seem to decide, walking back and forth between the two. And Canuck going for the tower dive is able to start off the fight, gets a lot of damage down, almost finds it, but Tuxedo is able to get the kill. Ignite's traded.
Very nice kill counter Tuxedo there, and the Stormbringer, not enough. As it looks like that, Sam's going to be going for an engage. Knockup does connect, and the Hui Severing Bolt is going to get the kill as Sam does go down. Well, not Sam, but I'm sorry, as Draco does go down. And more, it feels like that SKT is actually really starting to get in control of this game.
Yeah, outside of that first dive top, and you saw at that time, if the Volibear doesn't have flash, the Ambessa can actually kind of just kite him out just from using all the dashes. Volibear cannot keep up. So a good punish by Tuxedo, and yeah, you're in a great position.
It looks like Omar is going to the all-in. He's going to like do the perfect execution to go in. Shuriken Flip does not connect, but the Smiling Despair does connect as Gamecase is going to flash away from the second part of the perfect execution.
Flash, but he chose not to use it there.
You saw the power of exhaust there. Really just kind of stuffed that all in.
I think Omar's happy with this, though. He burns ultimate in exchange for double sums. I think next time he goes in, it's going to be a kill for sure.
Yeah, maybe you can get Albert over there looking for a Skarner gank while this flash is down. Oh, might even just look for it by himself right here.
Right now, as tunneling in comes the Skarner, as it looks like we have a fight on the bot side here. It looks like however they will get themselves out of there, as the Skarner ult is not going to connect, and he might just still continue the chase, and he chooses not to, as some short skirmishes across the map, but nothing really to come of it.
Oh, and Draco finds the engage. Brian getting a lot of damage down here.
And
Faye has to eat out.
Damage might be coming out soon, but there looks like they might just kite away from that.
Yeah, I think Tuxedo's figured out this lane. These just trading so well into Canuck. It looks like Dusk and Dawn for Volley, right?
Yeah, that appears to be what he's building.
It is Dusk and Dawn.
I think that does fall into the category of builds we were a little worried about if he's not able to get a huge lead. So I think Canuck kind of has like a burden of execution on here. He needs to find good plays. Leona going in, but gets taken way too far by Sam. And now Faye looking for the kill on the Leona does miss a couple autos, but was able to proc the ring. And I think that trade's about even for both teams. Both supports severely chunked after that. But now there's the gang mid that we were hoping for, but Gamecase just able to fear.
The fear is going to come out from the Hui.
It's just fine. Now they are trying to fight this out top. Tuxedo taking a lot of damage, but should just be able to kite the Volibear out. Ultimate is available, but he's not low enough where he's at risk of being killed. I think there's going to be a sweet spot.
Yeah, wrapping behind Gamecase. I'm not sure if he really
Draco.
And the perfect execution is going to connect with the Shuriken Flip over the top, and it looks like that Gamecase might not be long for the world. R2 connects, but great shielding coming out from the Rakan as Omar's play is completely stuffed, and it looks like that Draco is not going to be living much longer. But in comes Albert, and he just really can't look for anything as all three members of SKT responding to that play beautifully. And we do have a fight coming here as Brian is going to pop the ult. But it looks like that Faye will just dash away, still retaining both her subs. But Gamecase not respecting the Stormbreaker coming out from Canuck.
Yeah, and I did say Volibear needs lead. I guess it can happen against the enemy mid laner. It doesn't have to be on top. But he is going to lose a turret plate as he roamed, and I think about a wave or two. Doesn't have that in upgraded teleport yet.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked the roam out of Draco. You know, you flash on the Hui there, but Sam S came through with both a shield and his summoner spell heal, and just had just enough to keep Gamecase alive. What looked to be a good gank by the Leona ended up being a massive play for SKT, and I mean, you're up almost 2k gold at 10 minutes. I mean, this is great stuff out of them. Apari's 3-0-1 on the Vi, looking really strong.
Yeah, really strong. And I think the even more important part was that Gamecase was actually able to get his, I believe his his own shield, like his Hui shield down as well on top, which when used on Hui actually does shield even more than when used on an ally.
Yeah, it looked like he got like 400 or 500 extra health in that fight. It was kind of ludicrous. It's got to be a tilter for Inferno, but Canuck rotating down and getting the kill onto the way, I think, makes you feel a little better. Both the Vi and the Ezreal being deathless so far this game is really frustrating. And the shutdowns on them aren't even super high.
Yeah, and I don't hate Volibear top, but the embedder just seems like a good answer despite that first death. I don't know how you ever actually get caught in the lightning strike with all the dashes.
Yeah, and Sam is stunned up here, but Leona's super low health. Tuxedo just dancing around.
Tuxedo is just all inning onto Canuck, and he's going to be taken down very shortly as well.
Yeah, the Serpent's rush from Ambessa cutting a lot of that shield value.
Yeah, that could be an angle to just change your build, because I feel like most of the value from AP Volibear is how big the shield is. Because AD Volibear tends to have similar amounts of damage, so you could kind of pivot, but it's hard to once you've itemized so much into Dusk and Dawn. This should just be the second dragon in the game for SKT. I don't know how Inferno is going to be able to contest it, but it looks like they are committing 4 members in the area to at least look for it.
Yeah, it looks like they are committing to maybe...
Oh, and Albert over the walls looking for a play here. Might be able to find something, but Omar's just too far away, and Albert just gets annihilated. Ezreal almost takes him out. He is going to be able to live with his flash, but just nothing good coming out of that play for Albert's Inferno. And now Omar getting flashed on, taking so much damage from the Huai ultimate, and he actually is going to live. They miss him by about 50 damage, and now Faye is just free hitting onto Leona, and I think Draco is going to be the only victim of Inferno this fight. And yeah, I think Brian actually getting caught by the charm by Sam, and I think they should be able to take him out as well. And that is 2 kills and 2 flashes taken away by SKT, in addition to their second dragon of the game.
Yeah, I think Sam actually played that fight really, really well. I mean, he actually was able to just insta pop the quickness onto Brian, and he wasn't able to react at all to that. And then the follow up coming in from Game Case as well as Faye was really nice as well.
Yeah, the ability to hold your ult that long in a team fight is usually really valuable, because most of the time you go, oh, one of my teammates already died, they must have all used their ultimates, and you just don't expect it. Brian had his flash available, but just I don't think was factoring in the fact that Rakan could just ultimate him there. He got caught by that. Sam might just be dead to rights here. Has his W though. Saw him dash earlier, but that must have been his E right before Faye based.
Yeah, Faye with the Triforce now too. Faye is so strong. 2-0-3 on the Ezreal, farming well. Exactly what you needed. Really impressed with Faye so far this game.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people were asking to see more Faye ADC this season, and I'm really happy that we get to. It's looking super strong. And Omar just able to find much this game. He's down about 15 CS and has not been able to find that kill that we were hoping for. I think going Vamp Scepter takes away some of your burst, and yeah, I mean, he's just getting absolutely chunked out by Game Case.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't play a ton of Akali, but I'm not convinced that the Gunblade first item is actually the best thing you can do. I think it's kind of fun, and I think it's like a throwback to what she used to do, so a lot of people are taking it, but definitely kind of losing some of the
going for the play.
gap close that he would normally have.
Misses the E, still has the second cast of the R, and that should be enough to take the kill. Goes over the wall and is going to find that kill finally. And now a 2v2 is breaking out bot lane. Leona has burned the ultimate already, as has Brian, and Brian's trying to kite out Sam, but I think it's just going to cause Leona to die. But really good flash from Draco, able to avoid it. But Ezreal's now frontlining and has enough health to be able to outlive the damage from Brian. Albert trying to enter the fight. This could be enough. Sam dashing in, gets caught by a lot of damage, but Faye's able to do so much to Brian and takes the E forward, is able to find the kill. And I think Albert's going to try to do his best to get out here, but Apari has the ultimate and should be able to take him down. Sam with the knockup, chaining it, and that is going to be a dead Skarner. That's 2 more kills in Faye's pocket, and that is a 5-0-3 Ezreal and a 4-0-2 Vi. But Canuck is able to just find a shutdown in the top lane, so good news for Inferno.
Dusk and Dawn completed.
Yeah, it's a good spike. He's able to get a turret plate here, might be able to take the whole tower.
Yeah, I don't think Tuxedo was really expecting that damage to come out from the full evader there. It looked like he was just completely taken off guard, as Canuck just almost 100-0'd him. But not quite 100-0. I mean, he was already chunked already. As it looks like that the objective bounties will be falling off.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Inferno bot lane here, who I think basically everyone thought would be the strong point on the map for them this time is 0-8, and Canuck did not see that there were 3 people there, and he takes the engage, the control ward in the Fey Light, getting so much value, baits the ultimate out of Canuck, and they find the kill.
Yeah, I mean, you just called it out, though. The bot lane that you thought might have an advantage is really struggling, and just really good stuff out of Faye and Sam. I mean, Sam's consistently looked like one of the best supports in the server, but I mean, Faye's playing amazing right now, and if you're getting this level of AD carry performance to pair along with Sam, that's a scary bot lane.
Yeah, I think part of it's that Strako's roam plays just haven't panned out. That mid one that we talked about forever, I think, was the big chance for Leona to help get another lane ahead, and then I think you can play for your bot lane and it doesn't feel too bad, but not able to get anything out of that just leaves you in kind of a stinky spot.
Yeah, let's not forget they first picked the Ezreal too. So I mean, just slammed that, gave them the whole draft to kind of pick into you, and still just performing really well.
Yeah, I would have liked like a Nautilus pick or something like that, but the Leona just, I think, struggles to be able to gap close onto the Ezreal. And we're seeing the problems with it as the game progresses. And Rakan, I think Sam's been playing the matchup exquisitely. I didn't pronounce that right, that's fine. But he did counterpick it into Leona, so I think he definitely knows enough about the matchup to know how Rakan can exploit it. I've been on his team a couple times, and he's talked about how he does tend to favor that side of it, even if most people don't. Ezreal actually did not do too much damage there. Shielding comes out, and now Omar is looking to collapse onto Faye. Has the R2, but just not able to find it. I think that's going to ruin them in this dragon fight.
It does get Faye's flash. See what else they can do. Apari flashed as well. Big Skarner roll, so we get one.
Well, looks like that Tuxedo has arrived at the fight, and Sam, with the quickness, actually going to like do a really good job of disengaging that fight. I think that fight actually looked pretty bad for SKT if they actually did end up taking it, but it looks like that they are just going to go 1-for-1, but they don't have game case anymore.
I mean, I think you're really happy with this, though, if you're Alberts right now.
So much damage onto Canuck, who now burns the ultimate. They're able to shut down the Ezreal that goes over, both shutdowns going over to Akali, and Omar is so back in this game. He just picked up,
oh man,
1,600 gold? And Bessa finding the angle onto Canuck, though, and should be able to find a kill, but Canuck healing so much with the W, and I think this dragon should be secured by Inferno. Their jungler's still alive, and Tuxedo dying for
SKT,
that.
what are we doing? Man, that whole sequence was just not what SKT wanted to do. Omar blew Faye's flash before that fight even really took off, so yeah, the Akali didn't have ult, but Ezreal didn't have flash, and Faye actually chose to dash forward at the end of that. I feel like they got baited multiple times by the Volibear low health, but then he just presses W and healed half his health bar a couple times. They're so back in this game. It's only a 1k gold lead now, less than that.
Yeah, the shutdown value is huge, and you have managed to secure the dragon, so you're not playing under the pressure of Soul Point, which buys Inferno like 10 minutes of breathing room here. And I think the scaling on Yunara and Akali is going to be a huge deal as we move forward in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think SKT's still in an okay spot, like a fine spot. You just gotta take a deep breath, and I think they probably felt like they could keep fighting that because they were so far ahead. But with how it started, you know, it's just one drag. Back off. Sam got you out, but
ult's coming down onto game case. Omar is in the fight, but not able to gap close quickly enough. Should find the angle now, and is able to hit the E this time, but just gets charmed up by the Rakan, and I think it's just going to be taken down by Apari's ultimate. They waited just a bit too long to find the engage there, and it allowed help to arrive, and Albert's member is just too far away.
So hard to play Akali against this Rakan and this Vi right now. I mean, he just could not move there. Not to mention you had Exhaust getting dropped down.
I think SKT is starting to build their lead back up again. Faye will take a tower here. Canuck's going to struggle to fight both of these two, but is just going to pop the ultimate forward, gets a stun down onto Sam, but he should just get kited here. Flashes onto Zelda guy, though, and is able to find the kill onto game case. Albert, meanwhile, smushing Tuxedo into tower, has his ultimate available. That's basically all of Tuxedo's dash is used. Albert could look to burn the ultimate, but knows he's not going to win that 1v1 in the extended fight. Canuck is
this Volibear is so scary with 2 items. I mean, if he gets to hit people,
he's able to find Faye. Faye doesn't have flash or E available, and Canuck's just going to run Faye down.
Oh, Faye, I don't know if they didn't realize the Volibear was there, or just didn't think Volibear would go for him, but you wasted E again, and just Canuck picking up so many kills, and you gotta respect Volibear on this item spike. He's squishy, but if you let him auto attack you and use abilities, he heals too much.
And Brian able to pick up this tower. If Tuxedo hits ultimate, though, which he is, I think that's just a dead Yunara. You have no counterplay if the ultimate gets hit. Trading flashes out, and I don't even know who that benefits.
I mean, I think you're really happy if you're like, you're the side of like SKT, and like you trade like your top laner flash with like the ADC flash. I mean,
Yeah.
like the dragon like coming up in 2 minutes. Like I'm not sure if it's gonna be like even possible for like Yunara to play the fight without flash.
All right. Faye does have the completed Miramana, or yeah, that completed now. So really strong spike for this Ezreal. This next team fight, if Faye can kind of correct the positioning errors, the damage is going to be huge. Flash.
Yeah, ult is burned down, and that is going to chunk the hell out of Volibear, but
yeah, but there's nothing to fight over, so you just get the Hwei flash. So there'll be no Hwei flash at the next objective.
They're roaming 3 people here. They're looking for the kill, and Canuck has to go in, gets feared, but should be able to just find a kill. One more W would do it, but no, Game Case outplaying in the 1v1.
Wow.
They must have spotted out the collapse, because as soon as I mentioned it, Canuck immediately turns in and goes for it. But I mean, just as Canuck was running away from Game Case, though, he was able to do like 90% of his health.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's the end of the world. You're going to respawn the Volibear, and the Hwei is still going to be without flash at the dragon fight.
Yeah, FaZe is back up, though, which helps.
Damn, that's still sitting here deathless, by the way.
Yeah, Rakan is a bit of a slippery one. Pari, only 1 death, I think looks pretty good too. Actually, both junglers in that situation. I feel like Albert struggled to find a really good ultimate this game, partially just because of how slippery everyone on SKT is.
Yeah, but you have a clear target this fight because Hwei is without flash, so I think that's who Albert just needs to be focusing, and if you can find that, that could be a great way to start your team fight.
Yeah, they might find Albert instead, though. He's face-checking Tuxedo and Sam, and he just takes half his health immediately. Apari dashing in, and they should just be able to find this. I wonder if there's turn. Albert's flash does come through, but he immediately gets ulted on by Tuxedo. The charm coming out from Sam, they're able to lock down the Leona and the Volibear, and I think they should just be able to take him out. Albert is able to find a double ultimate here, but Canuck actually about to die, and Akali and Yunara are just hitting towers. They don't even care about this fight.
Yeah, 5v3 right there. I think they kind of just called, we can't win the fight. Delay them as what you can and hit turrets, but maybe they'll get a mid turret here? No, I don't think so. Unless no one chooses to answer
some damage on both tier 2s, I think, but Brian needs to know when to leave or he's just going to die. They are getting bot turret damage and trade, so.
And I mean, hey, just the bush cheese is kind of undefeated sometimes. They just sat in the bush, found Albert, and starting the fight onto the Skarner is not really a bad idea. They've grown that gold lead back more to what it was before that first bad fight. So SKT kind of back in control now, 3K gold lead.
It's not a huge lead, but having Soul Point, I think, is what really pushes you ahead this game.
They going for, I don't know what that new item's called yet, but a lot of life steal here on the Ezreal, the Omni Vamp. So.
It looks like both sides
Go ahead.
should position for, I think both sides positioning for probably Baron here. I mean, I think that if you're the side of SKT, I think it is just a good idea just to start it. I think that you want, I think that you really want Albert's team to like run into you. Like, yes, like you do have that engage that is like really nice, but I think it's even nicer when like, a lot of the peel, like the Leona, the Skarner have already commit before like you start the fight. As we do have a fight here top side, or bot side.
Yeah, top laners, bot side. It's looking good for Canuck. Out trading so far. The Mbessa ult is burned, which is going to help a lot, and Canuck's ultimate is missing, but has the flash and should just be able to find the solo bolo on the bot lane. Kill credit going to Volibear there. And yeah, I think the one risky thing for starting it for SKT is it's really easy for Skarner to steal, and it's not very easy to kill him when he tries to steal. So I think it's a little tough for them to just go out and start it, because worst case, you just try and sack a Skarner for a chance at a steal, and if you're able to take away the Nash, that could be brutal. Feels like neither team really knows what to do at this point in the game. Tuxedo found out what not to do, and that was to push up really far into the Volibear, but he did get double sums for it.
Yeah, I think if you're at this point in the game, like on Mbessa, I think that you need to be very wary of entering into these 1v1s with this Volibear. I think that Canuck is just way too strong for you to fight one-on-one. You're definitely going to need like some like form of like either like support or jungle help to like try to like fight him. I mean, like you do see like he does have like the Dusk and Dawn, like the Navori Quick Blade. I mean, he just finished up the Unending Despair as well.
I think SKT might just be trying to stall the game out until they can fight for Soul. It's a guaranteed fight that they want to go for, and it doesn't have the same consequences that a Baron does, because if they lose it, it's not a big deal. It's just one more dragon over to Inferno, and I think it does less damage too. I know the dragons got the change, so they're harder to kill if you have more of them, but I think it's still the less risky objective than Baron. Canuck forces Phase Flash out though before the fight and should have his ultimate back up in time. That's a really good play from Canuck.
That's a huge like summoner burned. Like I mean like Ezreal like does have like, you know, Arcane Shift still to play with, but like with no flash, like this just became a lot harder. I mean like now like I think like it's really free for just Omar just like to like, you know, play to just try to kill the Ezreal.
Definitely.
Yeah, the Hwei still does have exhaust and has flash back up, so that could be a trickier target. I know we were thinking that it could be solid for Albert to aim for the Hwei while the flash is down. Ezreal still should be able to Arcane Shift the Skarner ultimate, but if Faye continues to burn the Arcane Shift at times when it's not needed, that could set a really good angle up for Skarner. They're looking for the play here. Flash is now burned out from Hwei, so both both carries for SKT are flashless going into this fight.
Yeah, and you have Omar pushing top lane. Does have the teleport to join. We'll see if they are gonna have him TP in early or wait for a fight to start.
And that's
Flash
that top laner for ADC flash timer just used again. This time Brian doesn't take any damage or die, so a little better, but still you want that flash available for the Yunara.
I think if you're Alberts, I think that you just, I mean, you don't really need to do anything. I mean, Akali's pushing like top lane, but it looks like that Albert might get caught out himself.
Yeah, and he's just gonna die. He was too far away from his team, and I think they're just gonna have to trade Soul here in exchange for a top tower.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much easy engage on the side of SKT. They tried forcing it on the Yunara flashes, so then instead they're just saying, well, who else is sticking around? And it was the Skarner there, and yeah, you're just gonna get Soul for an outer turret or inner turret.
Definitely not good for Inferno, but huge stuff from SKT. They were able to secure that, just found the member that was lying around, and they were able to take him out really easily. Skarner not using his ultimate or his flash there, just I don't think he really had a choice. Wasn't going to get anything done with him.
Yeah, man, I think putting Omar in the side lane is smart. You know, does have the teleport advantage. We talked about how Gamecase chose to take exhaust, and Volibear seems to still beat Mbessa in the 1v1. So I think if you could find like a 1-3-1 setup for the side of Alberts, that could potentially be advantageous to you. But for the most part, SKT's just kind of gotten away with grouping and being successful when doing so.
Yeah, the tough thing there was it seems like they weren't really looking for a fight because they weren't teleporting in the Akali, but I think they were posturing too aggressively given that they weren't looking for a fight.
Yeah.
I think you can cede a little pressure and then just teleport the Akali in once you're ready, but having members that are close enough to be caught out is risky. Tuxedo's going for this play, but Omar should just live.
Yeah, I don't think Akali does not want to lane against this Mbessa right now. They've kind of got their lane assignments switched, but it's in part because Volibear is without teleport, although may have it up from his role quest. But I mean, I think you need to get Volibear back near the Mbessa as soon as possible. I mean, that was going good for you, and now you've got Akali in a hard spot.
I'm not actually sure if he can check the TP cooldown anymore.
If you
Brian
press
could be
tab,
caught
is it
here.
there?
Apari was looking for it, but doesn't think he's in range. Is going to back off there. We're at the point in the game where Game Case is doing a lot of damage, and Mbessa ultimate just connecting onto the Inara, immediately followed up by the Vi. But they're not able to take Brian down for a really long time, and that's a 3-man ultimate from Albert, and now Volibear and Akali have entered the fight, and Tuxedo is just going to die here, probably. So it's a 1-for-1. They're able to take the top laner down in exchange for AD carry. That was all the ultimates burned for SKT, and Volibear and Akali still have theirs on the side of Inferno.
Yeah, I think the really big thing with that fight specifically is that, like, even though Brian like did go down like very quickly, he didn't like go down instantly. Like, it wasn't like one where they could just like get in and get out. Like, they were very invested like under the turret, and there were other members of like Albert's there, like to like CC like them under the turret while they were going for that play. So SKT not coming out unscathed from that one.
Yeah, neither team even wants to touch Baron. I think we might just be stalling this out for another dragon fight, and historically that's gone pretty good for SKT. They've won 80% of the dragon fights this game, so like those odds, but it looks like they're actually walking up towards the Nash now, but there is vision on it, which Sam is going to be able to clear.
I mean, with how much engaged their comp has and the poke, I wouldn't even hate to see them potentially look to kind of start the Nash or force them to walk up to you, see if you can land some poke, and if you do land poke, have Vi or the Rakan continue to look for the engages. I mean, you know, they could certainly play this game out slowly if that's what they want to do, but I feel like they're strong enough now to just kind of take fights.
And Omar face checking into a bush once again. It's worked very well for SKT, but I think Omar's just going to be able to walk out this time.
They really got to put Volibear back bot lane. I don't understand why they're continuing to allow Omar to play in this matchup.
Yeah, Volley just used TP though, and I think they're more concerned about the Baron than the Dragon. Yeah. It's up in 2 minutes. Oh, Brian could be in big trouble here. Apari going over the wall, has the ultimate, gets to flash out of the Unara, but Brian just able to space this out, and that's not a kill. And it is 2 ultimates used.
Yeah, you do get the Unara flash though, which is huge.
Maybe this means that they'll fix their lane assignments, though. It looks like Volibear's basing. Tuxedo might be up too far, though. Leona in the area, able to hit the ultimate, but not the sweet spot. And Tuxedo looking to find the kill onto Omar. And might be able to do it. Flashes forward, gets the ignite down.
Really
Canuck
close.
looking to chase down, is going to get the stun here. A lot of damage coming through. No ultimate available for Tuxedo, but so many dashes. I think this should just be a kill. But
huge.
While they're doing this, Nash is just getting hit, and they take Nash while this fight's coming out.
I mean, does eventually lose the Volibear once he gets lethal tempo. It's too much, but the Ocean Soul healing was doing a lot, and I mean, was really close to trading Omar.
Yeah, that does not leave me think Inferno has any chance of winning this Elder fight. If it takes them that long just to kill one person.
Yeah, I mean, I think SKT's firmly in control of this one and should be expected to close this game out with a win. Got to do it, though.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some Elder steals so far this season. So
we have. We've seen a few.
I feel like Yunara with the Hurricane with Elder would absolutely just win you the fight.
Apari's fairly good with his smite key. I think he'll secure it for us, but we'll see.
Damage going down onto Game Case. Sam trying to dash in, not able to find anything this way. Ultimate does so much. 3-man ultimate from Albert, but Leona's going to fall first. Volibear jumping into the fight, but he's so low, and it is just going to die immediately. Double kill for Faye to start off the fight. And Omar's in the backline, should be able to find a kill onto the way. And now they're looking for Faye as the next target, and they are going to be able to find it. But Brian taken down as well, and now it's just a Skarner versus the top laner and a support player, and he is going to die. And that is a 5-4-3 in favor of SKT, and they could just be marching down to end the game here with just the Mbessa. Maybe they'll look to start up the Dragon. They're pinging like they're looking to end, but I'm not sure they have it in the pocket yet.
It'll be close. Mbessa does take structures pretty fast.
Yeah, Leona's going to be up
I assume they're going to get
in
inhib and then back off. May just take turret and back off. Yeah. get the
Leona's on
Elder,
map
secure
and-
that before they can fight you on that, and at that point, game's pretty much locked up anyway.
Yeah, and I think the really key part about like winning that team fight there was like, even though like Tuxedo does get to the fight a bit late, like Faye putting out so much damage, able to keep stay alive and like just keep like Albert's Inferno like more and more just like invested into that fight. And then when Tuxedo does come in, like it's just a really easy cleanup for the Mbessa.
There is a huge flash advantage for the side of Inferno. Leona and Canuck are the only two to have it right now, and Brian's is going to be the next up out of anybody. If they're able to stall the fight until Brian gets his flash available, I think that could be huge for them. I don't think that's going to be possible, but they are the first to hit it, and they're dealing a lot of damage.
Yeah, Omar's on the side here. Watch him. He might be able to find a flank if FaZe mispositions. They do spot him, though.
They're able to find Sam with the Leona ultimate, but Omar just immediately gets shredded. They were trying to force the fight, but I think it is going to result in the deaths of both of their carries, and this looks like it's SKT's game.
Yeah. Really good stuff out of SKT here. One of the best, I mean, outside of the one dragon fight that they kind of overplayed and fumbled it a little bit, one of the cleaner SKT games I've ever seen. I mean, just a really good game.
I mean, the Ezreal 14-3-7. I mean, what else can you say? I think that just completely played absolute win conditions. Played I think the laning was really good on the side of SKT for their bot lane. They didn't really panic win the Akali win in or the Skarner win in. They just played the fights really slow and really methodical.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. I think the bot lane should be a really strong point for Albert's Inferno, but they did not really get much done that game at all. So I think we need to see them step up in order for them to have a better game this time.
Definitely. What as far as MVP for that first game, I mean, my eyes are immediately drawn to Sam. I think they all played really well, but I mean, Sam went deathless that game. What are you guys thinking?
I think it's I think it's Rakan.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's 100% the Rakan. Did the classic Rakan thing of just dashing in and out of fights, CCing the key targets, keeping the carries alive long enough to do as much damage as they could. Yeah, I'd agree.
I do want to give one more shot at the Faye. I mean, that's one of the better games I've ever seen out of Faye. I mean, we were being critical. I was being critical of the execution threshold that would need to be met for your draft to be successful. And I thought Faye, outside of maybe the 2 deaths where the E was a little careless, played a pretty damn flawless Ezreal game. So really good stuff out of them as well. If you're going into draft here for game 2, obviously with Fearless, all those champs are gone. Everything that just looked good for you, you're going to have to find something else. I don't know, maybe Dean or Alec, if you're Inferno here, what are you looking at to try to maybe switch up?
I don't know. I think you might just hope that you have more champs in the bag than the other team does. I think with the Ezreal being the first pick, I think you assume that that's a really high prio pick, and they've chosen red side again. I think the top lane counter worked out really well for them, so getting to run that back, I'm not too concerned about that. I think Canuck's going to be able to find a good pick in Tuxedo and make it work. We saw that that's possible. I think bot lane, you're just going to hope that with Rakan and Ezreal taken off the table, that they maybe have something a little less unpunishable, and Albert can maybe make something happen to get bot lane going your way. I don't think Yunar is Brian's most comfortable champion, so maybe we get to see better comfort for Brian and potentially worse comfort for Faye. I think there's definitely some Ezreal priority if we see it get first picked, and I think maybe that's the hope. Mid lane, I don't think either of their champ pools have gotten touched. The fact that Champions to Watch says Syndra is the one for both of these mid laners, and we didn't even see it show up in draft, I have a feeling it might show up this time around.
Yeah, I think that definitely for this game specifically, I think what you really need, I don't think draft was the issue last game. I think that there were some key decisions that led to Albert's Inferno not getting the result they wanted. The biggest thing that I see that can maybe change would be possibly instead giving an Omar a strong mage mid to be able to match on game cases damage. I think that Canuck had a pretty nice match. I think getting Canuck a favorable matchup is definitely what they want to do. I think you should keep like the top counter matchup because I mean, like he got the counter matchup and he did really well with it. So I think you definitely want to give him counter again. And I think for the bot lane, I think that they just need to probably match with an enchanter this time instead of a engaged champion, depending on what SKT picks, of course.
Yeah, I think that's possible. I think maybe just without having the Vi as a factor, they could have gotten away with some of those picks, but now Akali's not even on the table, so I think Vi being off the table isn't that big of a deal. It just felt like Inferno was getting out-rotated by SKT, so maybe picking a champion with tools to help you rotate, because I know in the past that this team has really liked drafting Shen, but like regardless of their top laner, but now with Canuck top, I don't even know if that's on the table. I think it's kind of a macro thing, and that is really hard to improve at in between games in the series.
You know, one thing that kind of piques my interest potentially as a pick for Inferno here, I think you could maybe look for something like the Ahri. I think that's been a very good pick for Omar in the past, and with Vi already taken off the table, that's something you don't have to worry about. So if you're wanting to have kind of some more playmaking in Omar's hands, some assassination type damage, we already saw a really good Ahri game on stream the other night. Maybe that's something you look for. He's played that into a lot of the champions I think game case may favor. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And I'm really excited to see what Tuxedo goes for this game. Assuming the Aatrox is banned again, I'm kind of excited to see what maybe his next option will be.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking that Inferno might need to ban the Thresh in round 1. Sam might just go for it. I feel like Rakan's the other like super high impact support pick. So there might be more prio on the Thresh. I don't know. I feel like there's very few support champions that can just kind of do everything. I feel like Bard, Thresh, and Rakan are the ones that I think of that might be super high prio if you have a really good support player that you want to have a lot of impact. But maybe it'll fall to the second round again. He obviously is a very experienced player and has a lot of champions that he can pull out. So I don't think he's really limited to the Thresh. But we are getting into draft. Do you expect SKT's bans to change at all? We saw, Lilia, Varus, and what else came out last game? I'm like really struggling to remember. Last game it was Set. Set was the other one that got banned away from Canuck. Albert's Inferno's bans are at least the same. They are just missing the Aatrox. But we'll probably see that again. Sivir is actually banned instead of Set.
Sivir banned.
I think that is one of Brian's more comfortable champions, but maybe they thought like Yunar and Sivir were the two that they needed to prio. And yeah, actually Thresh is coming out in the first round here, which means that the Aatrox is available. And maybe this was something where they were fine leaving the Aatrox if the Set was available, and now the Set is available, which just could be interesting. And I'm pretty sure this Veigar is a flex pick. Faye can definitely play Veigar bot and has played it a bunch, so that's something to look out for this game.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think they did handshake on the bans because I think like the line of thinking is from SKT that like that they're probably going to hold top counter anyway. So if they do end up blinding, like, you know, if we just like, why not just leave Set open? So if they do end up like trying to like just blind like pick the Set, like we will actually have the top counter instead. So I actually do like the drafting strategy coming out from the side of SKT.
Yeah, Brian going for Caitlyn here, which is Faye's featured champion. So taking that out, I think helps. And I think the extra range into Veigar will be pretty helpful. There are some really funny bot lane combos that you can do with Veigar, but given that the Caitlyn's shown so early, they could use this as a means to flex the Veigar somewhere else. And it looks like Draco is just going to be locking in the Morgana for the very strong lane with Caitlyn. It also helps to just throw the Morgana shield on someone and they can walk through the cage, which I think is a huge deal.
Definitely. Technically a flex pick as well. You've seen Psycho Carrot play the Morgana jungle twice so far this season, but I would expect it to pair with Caitlyn.
Yeah, but
and there's the Aatrox we were wanting to see.
Morgana tends to struggle into mages because if you deal enough magic damage, the shield breaks, and Veigar is going to have a very easy time destroying the Morgana shield, especially as he scales. So it'll be interesting to see how that interaction plays out. I expect to just see Set picked up for Inferno here. Although Apari's Set jungle is cracked, so he could just pick it away so that they don't have it as a counterpick option into the Aatrox, but they're not going to choose to do that. Sadly.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what we're going to see from Canuck here to counter the Aatrox, but very excited just to see the Aatrox. Is what I've heard to be Tuxedo's signature champ and had a really nice Ambessa game, so this should be fun.
I believe that is an Aurora top because I do think Canuck does play it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've seen Omar play much of the Aurora, but technically it could be a flex. I think Nami is one of the less exciting pairings with Vygar bot, but it is very solid. I'm a sucker for Vygar Gragas or Vygar Alistar, where if you get
here's the interesting thing. It turns out that Tuxedo was an Aatrox one trick, and so Canuck at one point was also an Aurora one trick. So we are going to have a one trick view one trick on the top side. So this should be pretty interesting.
It's interesting though. Inferno banned Aurora last game. Maybe they were just afraid it would get picked and it would get denied from him later in Fearless. Malzahar ban coming through. I think that's very strong into the Aurora because her mobility is a lot of what makes her strong. It's a good champion to take out. But Taliyah being traded back, I think SKT is onto the fact that this is definitely an Aurora top lane.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what you would actually want to. I think at like this point in the game, I think you really should just like you really just want to like pick like your jungler like on like 4.
Yeah, for Albert here, what are you looking for? I mean, from his champion pool, Lily's gone, Skarner's gone, Amumu's still available. Maybe you look that direction.
Yeah, I think that's
could look Amumu.
Probably what you're looking for. Mel is going to be the ban over towards Game Case. And Akshan banned as well. I think they're just banning champions that would be good. I really don't think Omar plays either of those two characters. So I think the SKT draft prep meme is coming back a little here, and I think Omar's likely going to get access to a champion that he's very comfortable on, but I expect Inferno to pick their jungler here, and it is going to be Jarvan, which I don't think we've seen too much from Albert, but I think we have seen it a couple times, and it likely will be good into what gets locked in mid for Game Case, but Vygar doesn't tend to struggle too much with the Jarvan.
Yeah, I mean, Jarvan's a good jungler to pair with an Aurora. A lot of burst, a lot of AoE damage you can get down in team fights.
And Nocturne is the counter. We have not seen a lot of Nocturne coming out from Apari, but I'm excited to see it this time. Game Case really could just do him and pick the Orianna here, but we will have to see if that actually happens. I think Inferno has a really good comp for Orianna as well, so it could be a contested pick here. And the fact that Syndra is still up through this draft is really sticking out to me. And it looks like Nefiri is going to be the mid lane pick, or maybe this is... Honestly, knowing Game Case's champion pool, this could be a Nocturne mid and Nefiri jungle, and they could just keep it alive as a flex.
You know Game Case's champion pool well enough to say he plays Nocturne mid?
I feel like he would do it.
I'll take your word for it. That'd be hype. Cassiopeia, you're outranged by the Veigar, but pretty good otherwise here.
Yeah, that's like Omar's signature pick. Like you were saying in the last game that you felt like Lilia was the newer prior. No, back in the day when Albert and Omar joined the server, Lilia and Cassiopeia were permanently banned against these champions. Obviously, the Lilia taken off the board here, but getting to see Omar on the Cassio, especially into something like the Nefiri and the Nocturne, where they're both going to want to dive on you. Obviously, they both have those abilities that can negate your ultimate, but you're really liking whatever the field's called, miasma, that stops him from dashing in. And
yeah, definitely. You're right. Omar's signature champ has been the Cassiopeia. Hasn't picked it a ton. Kind of chooses to pick it in good spots. And you're looking at a better game from Omar. It was hard to play the Akali in the last draft against all that CC. I think he could be set up for a lot more success this time around, and I think his team's going to need it.
I think that this Cassio pick is actually a very, very good pick from the side of Albert's. I think it's good into like all the champions, like maybe like, you know, par for like the Vygar, but like even then I don't think it's even that bad into Veigar. Like it's generally like pretty tanky, has a lot of move speed, is really good into like melees, which like SKT has like 3 of them. and also like just prevents like the Neferi and the Aatrox from like being able to like use like their like mobility like to be able to like try to like get to like the Caitlyn or the Morgana.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to pull up our champ pools and our champion assets until I know where the Nocturne and the Neferi are going. Part of this is I just feel like Apari would want to play the Neferi. It is likely just going to be the expected roles of Nocturne jungle and Neferi mid, though, I would assume.
Yeah, I would expect. I'd be pretty shocked if they didn't. I think Nocturne would have an even worse time playing into Cassiopeia. One thing that sucks for the Neferi player in this matchup is if you choose to go in with your R and the miasma gets thrown down on wherever you're landing, you can't then use your E right when you land, which Neferis typically do to get a lot of burst down. So it can make it really hard for the Neferi player.
Yeah. Is Neferi unstoppable during your dash, or can she just get Cassiopeia ulted out of it?
She can get ulted mid R, and you're flying in a straight line, so I believe
so
that's
dumb.
undodgeable.
Yeah, it is undodgeable.
Godly Cassiopeia pick then.
Yeah, I mean
Nocturne
Morgana
is
also the
unstoppable, though,
Morgana
right?
bind is also a pretty huge pick into that too.
Nox able to get through the Cassio ult though, right? At least with the spell shield. Or is his ult
Yeah,
unstoppable?
he can.
Okay.
Yeah, we're really going to need to see a better game out of the bot lane, though, for Inferno. Like, if Nami and Veigar get any sort of advantage, I don't think it matters how good the Cassiopeia is. You're just going to struggle in this game. Like, Caitlyn and Morgana need to have a good laning phase.
Yeah, the good news for Inferno, though, is that Caitlyn outranges literally everything else on the map, and so does Morg-Q. So, I mean, with the exception of Nocturne and Fury ultimates, but we've already discussed how those might not be as good as they could be. But we'll have to see. I guess the other thing to
one
point
thing
out
that may
is
help them, though.
I think only Nami and Veigar are going to be able to do decent magic damage to Morgana's shield. So while that might be something to worry about in lane, I think it's actually going to remain up on targets for a while during team fights.
Yeah, one thing that may help them, Apari got some really nice early ganks off last game on the Vi. On champion like Nocturne, you're kind of more stuck needing to farm to 6. So while Caitlyn and Morgana should probably have the push, as long as they have any sort of ward and they're paying attention, I don't think Nocturne's really going to be able to help his lane out very much. And as it got pointed out in chat, the Apari was everywhere for his lanes last game, and with Nocturne, got to play a little bit more for yourself. So we'll see if that affects their ability to get that early game advantage like they did last game.
Yeah, I think the opposite's going to be true for Albert, though. I think the Jarvan's going to allow him to be way more active on the map. He was able to look for a couple plays before 6 on the Skarner, but neither of them went particularly well. So the Jarvan should be much better at that. We are waiting on someone getting food, by the way. That is the delay here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to run and use the restroom real quick while we're waiting on that.
Yeah, we'll wait till we're back.
Yeah, I am just going to gen some champ assets and let them roll in case we want to look at the matchups. If they're wrong, I can fix them later. Okay, it looks like they're typing in chat. I'm trying to figure out. Oh my god, there's so many messages.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get into it for too long.
They're waiting on their ADC, APC asterisk, who says it isn't AD Vigar. Oh my god, people keep messaging. Canuck pointing out that they have 2 rabbits as pets, so they're legally obligated to be an Aurora player. And Game Case said that he should become an Anivia main so that he can eat the rabbit. And Tuxedo says he should become a Vel'Koz main because he has no pets. And Draco pointing out that they're a Yumi OTP because they've had 3 cats. But none of this information is helping me figure out when the game is going to start. But we have confirmed that it is Vigar bot and Aurora top, which is not helpful information. It's okay. They just want us to be up late or something. Maybe the game will never start.
Maybe.
Well, Aatrox has historically beaten Aurora in the one game it's played in Scrim Zone, and Jarvan has had the up on Nocturne. Hard to spell shield the Jarvan combo, which I think makes sense. Caitlyn and Vigar have gone even. Caitlyn much better KDA, and Nami's actually up 5-2 on Morgana. So maybe that will pan out to mean something in the support. I think we saw similarly exaggerated matchups in support last game, and I think they were the other direction. And we are seeing ours come out, so I think the game might actually be starting at some point. They cannot start the game. Okay, it looks like there might be a new lobby. Riot Games has... Oh, wait. Okay, I don't even know. They're trying to figure this out. Hold tight, everybody. Seems like Brian's client is the one that isn't working, and they're trying to get him to restart and give it another shot. Okay, I think we're in. It is Apari Nocturne confirmed, so as we thought. Although I would have paid good money to see Nocturne mid, but I think not into the Casio.
Yeah, I think Nocturne mid into Cassia would be quite an excruciating lane to play for the Nocturne.
Yeah.
Suicidal at best. Though I don't think the Fury is great either.
I think whichever top laner in this supposed battle of people on kind of their main champs could really be a big indicator for how the game will go overall. Man, if either of these top laners gets ahead, they can be very, very difficult to ever kill and shut down.
I think worth pointing out, though, if we get to game 3, the set is not going to get auto-banned, and the Aatrox is from Fearless, so this will benefit Inferno if it pays off, because they're still gonna have to burn all 3 bans on something, and Inferno gets to ban all their contested, or all the things that they want to ban at the same time. They will have to win the game in order for that to pay off, though, and we'll see. They did not win the first one. I think Spectator Lay is going to kick me out of the lobby again, and then I can rejoin, and then we will be good to watch. I think we have about another minute before we get in. Outside of Vygar being the win con for SKT, do you think there's like other ways that they're able to win? Maybe if like the Aatrox gets accelerated, or I feel like Nocturne and the Fury are gonna have a pretty tough time getting too much done here, unless they get ahead. But I'm just not sure what the angle for that to happen would be.
Yeah, I struggle to see how they get ahead, but I mean, I certainly think if you do get ahead, then any of those champs could take over. But yeah, I'm certainly looking. I think if Aatrox can find a big advantage in his 1v1 to the point where he's just walking Aurora down the lane, I think even though Cassiopeia is pretty good into Aatrox, I think there's enough dive and disruption to prevent the Cassiopeia from completely stalling you. So I think if your side lanes here can do well, and Nocturne and Fury can just like not lose, just farm and be prepared to team fight, I think you're pretty happy if you're SKT.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the other thing that they could do is just like spam gank the hell out of side lanes. Like if Fury and Nocturne roam together, it doesn't matter if you're like not good compositionally into your opponents. If you're a 4v2 or 3v1, I think you should just be able to win.
Certainly.
And Cassio isn't one of those champions that's just going to shred your tower if you leave her alone for too long. So I think that's a nice benefit too.
Yeah, we'll see how SKT looks though. Mason with a good point in chat. You know, this game may be hard for someone like Sam just because you're not the go button this time. That's pretty much all on your engage is pretty much all on the Neferi and the Nocturne. And I know Sam S plays a good Nami. Don't get me wrong, but we'll see how SKT as a whole looks without him being able to kind of be that primary engage. Because they did look so coordinated last game on the team fights.
Minions have spawned.
I think looking pretty standard here. I think you have Electrocute and Ignite on the Aurora, so looking to go real aggressive.
Yeah, Brian taking a decent amount of damage early in the game, but a good Morgana Q will trade it back, and Caitlyn actually doing so much damage, making use of the Caitlyn passive of getting headshots faster in the bushes. But the Nami move speed is going to help him get out, but huge advantage to the side of Inferno's bot lane. Getting the cleanse out and the heal right away.
Yeah, Faye just walking a little too far up. You know, I think Cassiopeia, another champion that's kind of benefited in this in some ways in this season. Some ways no, but the fact that you don't need TP as much in mid now on a champion like Cassiopeia who really likes Ghost is a nice little change for her.
However, having to buy boots.
Yes, that's different.
So nice.
I don't actually think I've seen a Cassiopeia yet this season until right now.
Yeah, well, Omar just getting
Oh
flashed
my
on, and the
God.
dog almost finding the kill for game case, but 3 summoner spells used. Omar going to be able to ghost back to lane to help him out a little bit if he chooses to do so, but not how you want to start off the lane.
Not at all. Gamecase played that exceptionally well. Barely did not get the kill, but Omar just really disrespecting the Neferi damage, and you gotta dodge the Qs when you're facing against the Neferi.
I see your spirit.
But I mean, CS already pretty nice for Gamecase here. Omar gonna pick up some. Both junglers pathing towards bot.
Yeah, I think Jarvan is the one who's going to have a much better time if he chooses to take a gank there. I think Apari's likely just going to try and compete for a Scuttle Crab. But I think the Jarvan should be able to win out, and if he's able to get a kill on the Scuttle, that should be both Scuttle Crabs. We see the advantage of picking the Morgana into the Vigar lane, although that's still a lot of damage going down onto Draco there. Sam able to find the bubble, keeps him from taking a lot of damage, and sets up Faye to get a lot in return onto the Caitlyn.
Yeah, they actually lose that trade damage-wise off of the really nice bubble from Sam.
Yeah, SKT just coming out on top of this bot lane so far, despite the early trade. And I think if Inferno isn't able to threaten a kill quick enough to actually punish the Sums, I don't think you're too upset about the level 1 at all.
Hey, and Neferi potentially going top here is kind of leaning that direction.
Tuxedo unfortunately missing the entire back half of that wave. I think Canuck is building up a little bit of a CS advantage.
Maybe looking for a 3-man play top. Neferi's... I can't tell what Neferi's doing on the minimap. May have actually been leashing the crab for her jungler.
Or stealing the crab?
Either stole it or leashed it, one of the two.
Look at the CS.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Hey, all my junglers, you know, hey, that's the new meta apparently. I'm taking your crab. I'm sure that'll go over well in Alex's team.
Yeah, I think that'll go exceptionally on my team. Yeah, I mean, this Aurora lane actually seems to be pretty abusive for the Aatrox, but Tuxedo is, like, you know, he's only down 1 wave, and I actually think that that is fine, as long as he doesn't fall, like, any further behind other than that.
Yeah, but look at the farm in mid.
Yeah, the bubble's gonna connect as well. But yeah, the farm mid is pretty good. And I mean, the Ignite's actually back up for game case, so you really didn't mind, like, doing that, like, early, like, you know, like, early level, like, trade where you burned your flash and Ignite. Like, at the end of the day, like, it netted you, like, you know, a huge advantage.
Really good flash from Canuck there, able to secure it. And the Ignite advantage is paying off huge for the Aurora.
Yep. Yeah,
Stops
Ignite
a lot
really
of
made
the
the
healing
difference
from the
there.
Q3 on Tuxedo too there.
Certainly. Neferi, one of those champions too, where when you get ahead, she actually has pretty insane wave clear. I think going to continue to be a little bit difficult for Omar. I think you'll still scale into a fine position, but certainly not the start you were expecting for this counter pick.
I mean, certainly not the start at all. I mean, he did take a tier, like, early, like, for, like, his first item, and I kind of do understand, like, why, but I actually think that, like, you might have wanted to opt into, like, a D-ring, because I feel like you could have been way more punishing to this Neferi.
Certainly. Yeah, I think you're kind of selling your lane and potential lane damage, lane advantage for the faster scaling, but I'm afraid you may have lost too much giving that up. I'm interested to see what build Canuck goes for here. Did go for the Lost Chapter. I know some Aurora players prefer to just skip Lost Chapter.
Yeah, it is interesting to see him actually go the mana item, because most Auroras I've seen him actually will just opt into straight burst. As, you know, like,
Possible that he
generally
did
with
it because
Aurora,
he, like, completely ran out of mana just before that first base. Like, he had to base due to mana issues, not anything else, so that could be contributing to it.
yeah. But I do think that, like, I think if you are, like, going Aurora top, like, the lane is a bit longer, and the chances that you are going to be, like, trading with are a bit tankier, so, like, it probably is good for your mana sustain.
Oh, that's just ult coming out from Game Case. Canuck does not have flash to get away from this, and I think that is going to be the kill for Case. And yep,
Wow.
just easy dive.
Yeah, Canuck just held on to his ultimate there. I'm not sure why he did that. I think that he could have just easily got himself out of there, like after like the Neferi committed like they are, like
Certainly.
Chaser.
Yeah, it's a good point. Probably could have created enough distance with that R. Chose to kind of wait until the very end to use it, and by then it was too late.
Yeah, that's Cleanse coming out again from Vigar.
I mean, that sucks. Like, you're winning your 1v1 top, but now Aatrox is getting turret plays, getting to push in wave. That's a big bummer for the Aurora, but kind of just really good stuff from Game Case, winning his own lane and then going and helping out top. Omar saying what all the Cassiopeia mains are thinking.
Yeah, Omar expecting the dodge back from Game Case, puts the Q behind him, and Case just stood still, dodged it.
Yeah, pretty sick dodge coming out the Case.
And I love seeing this kind of a pick from Game Case as well. You know, I mentioned that, you know, first week played 2 supportive champions. This time around, going for the carry.
Yeah, and now the Nocturne ultimate is coming out, the first one of the game onto the Cassiopeia. The Fear comes through, and we're actually missing the Q there again, but is able to live.
Yeah, does have to blow both summoners to live. Pari really helping out his mid laner there. And gonna allow him to get the shove in.
And Canuck chasing this out, but Aatrox ultimate is burned, and the flash comes through, and I think that should be a solo kill for Tuxedo.
Yeah, he knew that Canuck didn't have ultimate and knew that he didn't have flash either, so it was just a really easy commit out of Tuxedo there.
Yeah, almost had
Tuxedo,
enough damage to get the counter
yeah.
kill. I think it really does come down to the advantage Case was able to get off the roam.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kill for Tuxedo is entirely set up by what Case did.
I guess that's the advantage of picking 2 champions that can jungle. You can just gank top over and over and over again. Or you can gank both side lanes at the same time.
Yeah.
The fact that he's been able to roam so much and still has such a big CS lead is very impressive, although you have to remember 4 CS of that is the Scuttle Crab. Which is baffling, by the way. I'm still not over that.
Yeah, and I think Mason with a good point in chat. You've just not really seen enough activity out of a Jarvan. You know, you pick that early game champ. We need to kind of see a Jarvan play somewhere.
Yeah, I don't believe he's ganked yet.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, Nocturne is able to keep up pace in farm and has ganked more often. Canuck just gets pulled back in by the Aatrox W, uses the
Ryan is
ultimate, but
dead.
should be able to get
Ooh.
out with
Okay.
the ult, yeah. Nocturne
Yeah,
ult
but
is
just
up
starting
in
to take a
13, and
lot
they're
of
looking for a dive
punishment.
top.
Yeah, I think the really important part of that though is like now like Canuck doesn't have ultimate, and
Oh, and he gets stopped.
Cancels the base.
dangerous. His
dead.
flash is coming up though. Maybe he might be able to.
There's no
Dead
doubt
for
about
sure
this.
here.
But yeah, it looks like it's not going to take any chances as Nocturne ult does come out.
Yeah, and Albert
As-
is just going to get ganked before he's able to gank anyone else, and that's another kill
Jeez
going over to Game
Louise,
Case.
man. Game Case going beast mode. Tuxedo's now huge. Any advantage Canuck had is completely gone. And, I mean, the Aatrox, I think, is just only going to get even better at taking Aurora down this lane. I mean, it's looking so good for SKT. SKT fans, do you believe? I mean, you're up in your second game. You've already grabbed the first. Could we be witnessing history in a little while?
I mean, at the risk of caster cursing it, I think this game is pretty much unlosable for them.
I didn't want to say it, Dean, but they're right where they need to be.
Yeah, and Canuck
Oh,
just getting
it's just
absolutely
bullying.
mobbed on here, gets flashed on. The Fear is actually not going to come through, and Jarvan's here to maybe turn the fight. Ultimate down onto Apari, looking for the kill, and is going to be able to give it over to Canuck.
Ow.
And Jarvan healing flashes out,
Apari did take a
and now
tower
Canuck
shot,
moving
yeah.
forward.
Tuxedo might
Gets
be in
hit
trouble
by the
here.
Q
Looks
though,
like he's
and
tight
Tuxedo able to
well.
find one, and I think
Ooh, nice
Tuxedo should be
Q2.
able to pick up the kill here. Waits for the Q3 and should just be able to connect on the Q2, and that is a double kill going over to Aatrox.
Wow.
I thought for a second there that I actually did caster curse them, but no, Aatrox is too good.
Yeah, I mean, Tuxedo just hit all the sweet spots basically. Like he just hit all the sweet spots, like did a ton of damage, and there was like no way like they could really like just deal with the Aatrox, especially when he's this strong already.
That is going to be the tower going over. And the Fury just absolutely running this mid lane too. Got an advantage from other lanes, but actually this flash is forced out by Omar's ultimate. Seems like the trade pattern is do as much damage as you can, and then as soon as Cassio touches you, get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Which is not
I mean, it is
super
kind of how it
fun.
works. Like you burn your spell rotation, and then like the caster hits a Q on you, and now it's like it's time to run away.
Oh, Brian might have found the play here. Actually doesn't get the trap placed correctly, but the ultimate should do the deal. And yep, there's that early kill that you want on the Cassio. Got it before 15 minutes. You want that first Caitlyn kill as soon as possible, and not a horrible time to get it, although you are a little far behind. Now Morgana just getting jumped on by the Nefiri, has to burn the ultimate, and it does kind of get immuned by Game Case. That's an interesting interaction. Morgana has the flash, is waiting a while to use it, stalls out long enough for Brian to be able to enter the fight, and Game Case taking so much damage, but teleport directly onto Morgana's head, and actually Apari choosing to ult for the Morgana even though she was already dead to be a teleport, and now Morgana actually able to kite out a little bit, but now Tuxedo is going to be here, and I think it's just going to completely clean up this fight. Still, overall, was a 2 for 2 for Inferno if they're able to get Brian out, which I think they're going to be able to do. And there's no dragon up, so a lot of fighting around the dragon.
That was
but actually, Canuck just able to get 3 tower plates off that, so maybe it's worth it.
Yeah.
For Inferno.
I mean, that was so good for Inferno, except for the fact that Fed Aatrox is now coming into the team fight. I liked the initial play for them. I thought Morgana, Draco did a really nice job getting damage down, using a good Zhonya's to delay Apari's engage, but yes, you do get some stuff top, but overall, Aatrox is becoming a big problem. Cleanse Muse there. Maybe you can find a play onto the Veigar while this flash is down that Ryan was able to burn.
They're just dancing around bot lane, but now Case has entered the area. Immediately does get Morgana rooted. It's like we talked about, Caitlyn able to get a lot of damage in return, but Morgana ends up even lower and has to channel the recall after that trade.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of starting to see
though. So I think Morgana's time to
Case with a really good game still so far, but you're starting to see why we said it was a hard game to play Nefiri. You really outplayed him at the early level, which turned into the advantage top, advantage in your lane, but overall, we're now seeing, despite being ahead, it's just so hard to actually go on a lot of these characters.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to deduce that Aurora actually has 0 tools to do anything into Nefiri or the Nocturne because the dash is just point and click, and they exploited that, but the rest of them, it's going to be hard to pick off. And Faye just gets knocked up here. Brian dashed away from nothing there, but they still got the kill. That was basically guaranteed as soon as Jarvan found the engage there.
Yeah, that's what you needed.
I'm not sure you guys have noticed it, but Tuxedo is actually just eating like the entire top side of Albert's. So he has like taken the Krugs, he's taken the red buff, and he also just took the Raptors as well.
Yeah, Aurora getting committed to this fight in order to match the Aatrox, who they know should be able to get in the area. But it looks like Aatrox is just going to hit mid tower and they're going to get the dragon, which I think is the correct choice from SKT. Well played by them.
And this Aatrox is just getting so much more gold onto him, like as this game progresses, and I'm not quite sure how you're gonna deal, or like how you're gonna deal with this Aatrox when the team fight does eventually come around, when he does show up. But Hugs
getting the Herald too.
And yeah, notably 50 CS up. I mean, like he has his tier 1 down, and he also took the mid tier 1 as well, and also took a good amount of Albert's jungle. So this Aatrox is looking very terrifying.
Yeah, can we see a gold check, Dean? Yeah, already 2.5k up basically in top lane. That's scary.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlyn actually doing decently is, I think, about 1,000 gold behind the Aatrox. But yeah, I mean, that most of the entire gold lead is just on top lane alone. The Aurora not panning out super well purely because of the way the map was played around it. Pressure was put on him by the Nocturne and the Nefiri, so even though he was doing really well in lane, just more team help.
Yeah,
causing
let's not forget
difference.
the Canuck did find the first blood 1v1 outplay, but then just as soon as team help came, just really got shut down.
I think the weight of this game is going to be on Brian. We already did point out that he's able to outrange the entire team. And I think if Cassio and Morgana are able to play for Peel, I think it could go really well for the Caitlyn and team fights.
Looks like Albert's looking bot.
Game case is going to be there first, though, if this turns into a big fight.
What? That was an interesting use of the Rift Herald. Maybe it was used to like dodge a spell or something, but it is a 4v4 breaking out. I think the Nefiri is the strongest person in this fight right now. But this Rift Herald is not going to get a charge off.
No.
Canuck actually winning out on these trades top, but yeah, I think he's actually able to dodge that out. But Draco just gets gone on. Nocturne diving in. And I think the first kill out of the fight is going to be down to Morgana, but it's up to the Cassio, who has a double ultimate to turn this fight around. The teleport is coming through, and I think it's just going to be a 1-for-1 for the supports. Tuxedo burning a TP and ultimate, and I don't think he's going to get anything out of this fight.
He does get Brian's flash, but I mean, Sam hit a 3-man bubble there, and frankly, that might be the only reason it was close. Overall, I think you're not too upset about that if you're Alberts.
Yeah, Albert's still moving forward. He's looking to find a play onto game case, waste the W, but just not able to follow up here. Brian just walking up is not scared of anyone on this team, and Canuck actually able to trade a turret for that play bot. So well played to Inferno. They're coming back.
Yeah, I think that the really huge part of that fight was like
walks up
just
and kills him.
Yeah, Sam. I mean, Sam just hitting like that, like the huge Nami wave hit everyone, like the bubble hit everyone. I mean, Sam really did like just get everything out of his champion that he possibly could. As we do have a fight, possibly coming top side. Like doesn't look
Yeah,
like
no,
it.
Canuck just need to burn all and live. It's good to get that cooldown off, but you're hoping for the kill for sure. Brian could be extended though. They're rotating the Nami and the Nefiri to try and get a kill on him. They're gonna walk over a ward now, but I think it's way too late. Brian's just hoping for the recall to come through, but he's just gonna try and survive under tower. Burns the barrier, gets hit by the bubble, and that is a kill going over to game case.
Yeah, just a little too far up, not paying enough attention to where Nefiri wasn't on mid wave, and another big kill.
Yeah, but Morgana rooting the Nefiri under tower, and that might be enough damage. Oh, just barely not. I think the defensive itemization of the arm guard instead of going for any like burn item first is going to be the difference there. SKT getting away with that one though. I think that was a very risky re-engage, and they got as punished for it as they could be, but just not losing a member.
Yeah, Game
Both
K is very
objectives up
lucky
and
not to
dirty.
give over a shutdown there. That was an ill-advised re-engage.
Yeah, Morgana's going to be low for this fight, and actually still has wards available, which is nice. Morgana burning the ultimate, which just forces Sam's flash out. Tuxedo once again stealing the red buff before the fight, and Nocturne ult coming down to Caitlyn. She's close to a wall though, trying to get out, but Nefiri joining as well, and that is going to be enough to get the kill. And now Albert tried to counter engage on them, but is now having to 1v2. And now I think the play disengages, and that should be a dragon going over to SKT. They were fine giving over the first two, had bad angles on them, but now they should be in control enough to just take the rest of the dragons this game.
Yeah, that's back-to-back deaths there for Brian. First getting caught out by Nefiri and Nami, and then that time by the Nocturne, and that's just really unfortunate. I think even though top lane had been getting so strong, you pointed out the Caitlyn was not that far behind. You had secured the first two dragons. You could be playing for an early soul, but back-to-back deaths there, I think, just really puts this game in just a really great spot for SKT now.
Yeah, he's 2k behind Aatrox. Aurora is 2.5k behind Aatrox, and Cassio is 2k down on Nefiri. Brian, I think, has the sole gold lead for his team, but it's not much. They're down 4,500 at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, 5K gold lead at 20 minutes. I don't think it's wrong for us to say that this is SKT's game to lose. I mean, they've never been this close to taking a series, and I mean, I think it's right there. They just got to close this out and grasp it.
Yeah, and I think that should be pretty easy. You have Giga Comfort for Tuxedo, the Aatrox one trick, and then Game Case looks super comfortable on the Neferi, and I think the bot lane very comfortable in their spots as well. Huge fight breaking out here top though. Tuxedo going for tower plates and just dies for no reason. Oh my god, JK, the healing is insane. Caitlyn joining the fight, trying to get some damage down with the ultimate. Tuxedo is just living for so long, but the shutdown does go over to Aurora, and the investment there was huge. That was actually 3 ultimates burned to get the Aatrox down. They did get his flash, and he didn't get the tower. But, I mean, ultimately, that was just an Aatrox dying in exchange for 3 turret plates. So
yeah, hey, by the way, team, you're gonna need to buy some healing cut for this Aatrox at some point. That healing was absurd. I thought that was a free kill to just give Omar a shutdown, and it ended up taking 4 members.
yeah, I would say it's one thing if like the Morgana has Ignite and the Aurora has Ignite, but only Aurora has it. So, and it wasn't even able to use it in that fight. The good news is I don't think you need Giant Slayer this game, so Caitlyn should be able to itemize it really easily, but you don't really want to do that this early. Probably won't happen for another
Cassiopeia,
item,
a champion that can also pretty easily buy healing cut, although I will say, the fact that Cassiopeia now has to buy boots when you start thinking about getting towards full build, it's not as free to go for that kind of extra item there.
What is Cassio passive now?
It used to be a
Increases the effectiveness of all move speed bonuses by 32%.
Yeah, by 32%. But originally the scaling itself was a lot higher. But now, well, actually, originally the scaling itself was actually flat move speed, which actually ended up giving more move speed because there's generally like not much move speed in the game, like options. But Cassio just tended to just get the flat move speed. But now, because they changed it to percent, you actually don't get as nearly as much as you used to in terms of move speed.
Maybe if you have like a Cosmic Drive or something.
What if you got a bunch of cloud drags?
I mean, well then maybe you could get close to it, but unfortunately, there are not many cloud drags in this game.
No, not this game. Cassiopeia does have the 2 kind of completed scale items now, so we'll see what item Omar chooses to go third.
Yeah, Omar actually the only person in the game not to die also, so he's been playing well.
Yeah, almost had that first death at level 2, but otherwise it's kind of just come online, and I mean, you see the value he's actually getting down in team fights now. His miasma is such an issue for this team, and so yes, you are far behind, but I don't think it's completely
Omar
doomed.
getting gone on by the Neferi does not hit the ultimate. I think that is going to be his death. I think I have Caster Cursed.
Yeah,
Whoops.
I think we did. Well played, the game case. I think Omar, he should have just R'd when Neferi R'd, but he kind of didn't. It allowed the Neferi to get behind him. Miasma fell down in kind of a bad spot, and Game Case just gets the outplay, which is pretty hard to imagine just before you saw this game, because I mean, this is Giga Comfort for Omar, but Game Case played it super well.
He's going to get stunned up here, though. Good job from Draco to make sure that he stays within the range. But now Brian trying to gap close, but flashes forward, gets the auto, and is going to find a shutdown there. Really well played by Brian to secure that, and that's a lot of gold going over to him. And actually has started to buy the heal cut already. So maybe this Caitlyn is the hope of this team. That's so much damage going down. They're able to find the trap. That's another kill going to Vigar. Ooh. But Morgana, almost falling down, is able to live on basically no HP.
I mean, that heal from Draco is really like clutch to just keep her alive there. And unfortunately, that Faye does get caught out there as the Drake is just about to spawn.
Yeah, and this probably is just going to be a third Drake now for the side of Alberts, which is pretty huge. Although Tuxedo is here and could have something to say about it.
Brian and the Jarvan Flagging Drag gets interrupted. He gets yanked back into the fight. And that's going to be so tough. He's playing from such an HP deficit, but they are going to have all 5 members here, and the Neferi is nowhere in this fight. It seems like SKT's realizing this, kind of regretting all the damage that they've done to the Dragon, having to retreat out of here, and Canuck doing so much damage is almost able to just completely burst apart before the fight starts. Tuxedo isn't even able to hit anyone. Canuck now finally dropping down to half HP, and Neferi looking for the kill onto Brian is almost able to find it and actually is able to successfully take him down. Morgana and Jarvan looking to find the counter kill onto Game Case. 1Q should do it, and they're able to find it. Tuxedo falling down now. Cassio looking to find it, and Canuck trying to get the hit. 3-hit passive is going to seal the deal. And that's 1 kill onto Inferno in exchange for 3 to SKT, and they've gotten Soul Point.
But that's actually massive for SKT. I mean, for Inferno, excuse me. Yes, I don't know why. I don't know if you needed to fight that. Once Faye's dead and game case is late. Oh man, that just felt like they maybe felt they could stronger than they were. But I mean, Albert's played that team fight pretty flawlessly.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like Tuxedo was forcing. He wanted to try and find something. Was really strong, but now he's died 2 times in a row without having gotten a kill or assist on any of his lead, and now it's down to 1k, and the Dragons actually make up for that. Void Grubs kind of cancel it out a little bit, but I think this game's back to dead even.
Yeah, you know, it does seem like now what we were worried about for them in pregame, the fact that the Cassiopeia is such a thematic counter to their team comp. I mean, Alec, how do you think SKT needs to pilot these team fights to have success?
I think that they really just need to go back to doing that 1 and 4, where they basically just had the Aatrox just be alone and arrive only at the team fights only when they need him, and then just have the rest the 4 members of the team just play as a unit. I think that they're just making this game way too complicated and just overplaying their hand. Tuxedo is strong, yes, but there are so many ways for Albert's Inferno just to keep him locked down.
And I do wonder if the nerves are kicking in here. Tuxedo and Game Case obviously have not been around for the 2 seasons straight, and they seem to be performing pretty solid this game, but the other members performing worse than they were in the previous game, and I wonder if the fact they had a lead is seeping into their minds at all. They could have thought, oh, we have this in the bag, and they've been there a couple times before, and I wonder if that just eats away at you a little bit. They're definitely feeling some pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the next team, it's kind of been a few fights in a row now where Faye has kind of gotten caught before the fight. I still think Vagar is actually kind of an issue for the Inferno comp.
Ping's coming out on either top or mid. Nocturne ultimate is available.
I think it could look better.
Yeah, Canucks looking to get out. And actually, Game Case takes so much damage. And Apari takes the play all the way under the tower. Morgana's here to help out. Game Case almost dying to minions. Caitlyn ult's going to do it. I think... They connect, and Apari's just dead too. Oh,
guys, what are we doing, SKT?
Yeah, I think the SKT is just completely misplaying this. You just need to not do what you just did. You can't
here.
Trying to play for solo picks when your team isn't able to respond.
Oh, and huge play from Draco. Flash, that's going to secure the stun onto Sam, which should be the kill. But Vigar almost finds the kill onto Morg, and I think that is going to come through. But no, Faye mistimes the Zonias. But Aatrox is going to find it.
Goodness.
And now they all need to group up as a team to collapse onto Tuxedo. And they're just trying to walk down the Vigar. It is a split fight. It's 2 2v1s. But now Canuck is able to join this fight onto Tuxedo. I think that play was enough to discourage the Baron take, but my goodness.
Yeah, you do discourage the Baron take, but SKT needs to clean it up.
Gold lead Inferno.
How?
Very briefly. It's now gone. Tuxedo got the blue buff.
Potential soul, mountain soul here for them in a minute.
3 flashes available. Aurora and Morgana don't have theirs, and we've seen how much value Draco's been getting out of Morgana Flash. But Apari not having Flash, Faye and Sam's being nowhere close. Okay. This is a quick pause. They're immediately back, I think. Yeah, okay. It's probably going to hang up a little bit.
Yeah, I think this game has been kind of just completely turned on its head. I mean, it was going so well for SKT. They had a huge gold lead. The Aatrox was so much more further ahead, and now it really is on
so much damage to start
to
this
mess us up.
The Morgana spell shield is just broken versus the Vigar. Hold on, I'm gonna try and backspace and catch us up. They do need to be careful of Nefiria, though. She's looking for a flank, and Aatrox is coming in from the other side. Aurora is way far away compared to the rest of them.
Yeah. They need to get Aurora there. Aurora does so much damage now, though, with the items, but they have been found.
Yeah, that is not good news. But if they're able to pick off Nefiria in return,
for the fight.
The Morgana Q went wide, but I think they should be able to find the kill. Jarvan going in, but needs to drop the wall so his team can help. But the Caitlyn ultimate should be enough. Yeah, they're just trading
Should
it.
be.
Tuxedo focusing on the tower rather than helping on Dragon. And as now, I think Canucks just been able to trade all that damage back. So now it is man advantage for Inferno.
Yeah.
They're pulling it out towards the bot side, allowing Aurora to regroup with them safely. Really well played macro-wise for Inferno here. Making sure to fight as a group, and this is really hard for them to play. Okay,
Oh,
actually,
it's
huge
stolen,
steal
though.
from Apari. But the fight, I think, is actually also going to go in the way of SKT. Brian trying to hit as much as he can, has to flash out there. Morgana dead, so no spell shield for the Vigar cage, and is able to find the kill onto Tuxedo. It's just Sam, Apari, and Faye left. 2 for 2 for each team. And that's so huge by Apari to get that steal.
Yeah, that steal was critical. But I mean, you're seeing it's actually
Canucks
so
ultimate's
hard
back
for the
up.
team fight. The Caitlyn range is online, and the Cassiopeia is such a big issue.
Oh, if Canuck didn't get stunned by the cage there, had ultimate available, probably could have gotten 2 of them.
You know, I think the biggest problem with like the Veigar this game is not because like the Veigar is only doing damage. Like the Veigar is doing damage, but you really can't utilize your ultimate. I mean, like if you really think about it, like you're kind of outranged by Caitlyn. You don't want to be dumping your ultimate into Morgana. Cassio's kind of tanky and also kind of spaces you really well as well. And the J4 is kind of like not a really good target as well. So
Yeah, I think if the Vigar could potentially find damage onto Aurora, that may be your
Sam could
best
be caught
target
here.
in these
Gets
fights.
the
but-
ult dropped on his head and just gets popped.
Wow.
Fury's in the area, but the stealth coming out from Canuck is going to make this hard. The sweeper picks up where he is, but he's just able to space it. And Morgana's in the area too. It'll be really hard to actually connect with the dogs. They're trying to collapse on this, and it looks like Jarvan's just starting up the Nash. They found the pick that they wanted. It's on the support, but maybe they're just trying to fake and turn. Caitlyn has really good objective control. She can start setting up traps, which she hasn't started doing yet.
Faye is really far away still.
Yeah, they're burning it. It's down to about half. And Tuxedo looking for it, and now the Nocturne ultimate is coming in. They're going to look for the steal, and can Apari do it again? No, he cannot. Kill credit going over to Omar, and I think Apari should be dead this fight. Nefiri going on to the wrong group of people and takes so much damage, has to flash out in order to live, and Apari is going to get killed in return, but that's 2 Inferno dead, both kills going over to Aatrox in exchange for Apari dying. That's what you want for Inferno. But the gold is still in SKT's favor, despite the Nash going over the whole 1500.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what you want though. But I mean, it does suck that they lose like 2 members on like the side of it because it was a 4v5. But
And Omar getting gone on, but really good movement. And Canuck goes in, almost able. Yeah, it just finds the kill onto the Nefiri.
Massive
Hopping
flank by
forward, forces
Canuck.
2 flashes out, and now gets on top of Sam. That 3 hit almost finds the kill. Canuck still moving, and does not hit it, and actually taking so much damage. And the Vigar's able to find the shutdown onto Brian. That just neutralized that play. That was going so poorly for SKT, but Canuck not able to find the kill onto Sam. And Faye making really good use of... Oh, that was just Q. Never mind. I thought that was the ult. I was like, we were talking shit about the ult, but no. Vigar has scaled a little bit. 3.5 items.
I mean, the Cassio W in this like Morgana like kind of like or just make this game really hard for Tuxedo to play. I mean, you can't really like use like your dash like at all, which is like a critical part of your ability to like reposition your Q to land it on
Tuxedo's
people.
way too far here. In between 3 people. Morgana hitting the root. So much damage coming out from Canuck. Their heal cut isn't here though. Oh no, Morgana also has it, so they should be able to find this kill into Tuxedo. Morgana flash ultimate burned here, but I think that's worth it to not risk the kill. Doesn't
I mean,
quite
he is
secure
so
them the
hard
dragon
to
because
kill,
Tuxedo's
but
going to have
they
ultimate
did manage
though.
it. Yeah. Yeah, Tuxedo's flash is coming up before too long. That's going to be a really big cooldown, I think.
Yeah, it's on about the same timers as Brian's. And it's on the exact same timers as... Or it would be on the same timers as Sam. I guess Tuxedo has... Inspo? No. How is that possible? Oh, I guess Apari was the other person that flashed from... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing things. I swear 2 people flashed from the morgue binding.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you were right, but yeah, it doesn't line up.
Must have been a pari. But it wouldn't make sense because their timers are desynced. It's possible that Caitlyn just flashed at the same time for some unrelated reason. But now Dragon's up and Tuxedo has just walked here in time.
Big damage. The way this is setting up, they may just have to look for another Apari steal. Does he have another one in him?
And Caitlyn actually is capable of autoing this dragon from the bush, but is instead walking up to get traps down. It forces the immune out, but Nefiri and Nocturne going onto the Caitlyn, they're able to find her to start the fight off. That's so much damage in return. And Nefiri almost dying and is not taken out by Canucks. Finally burning down, but this fight is in SKT's favor for sure. It's just the Cassio and Jarvan left. And I think they might both live.
Wave might be game winning. I think that the Nami wave hitting the Caitlyn right out of her trap or her 90 caliber net was key. Like it took Brian like a second longer to respond, and he wasn't able to get to safety like as nearly as fast as he could have.
Yeah, taking down the Caitlyn there is really all they need.
Yeah, Nock and Nefiri hitting both ultimates in that direction. I think Cassio basically just needs to sit on her head and stop it. The Vygar cage is zoning this off. They're looking to stall for a steal. Omar's walking up, trying to get their attention, and if he's able to stall for long enough, they don't have a jungler alive. This is a really easy steal from Albert. The problem is they just turn and fight. They're going to lose the fight, and that does happen. Cassio's going to go down. Albert trying to find the kill on Defay, but Sensei stops hitting. He's not able to just find a steal. Goes in with the ultimate, and it should just be taken down here. Overplaying that a little bit.
I think if you need to take that fight, I think that you just need to wait a second. Like you have to like play it like a lot more slow. You can't just walk up like that and like try to fight them. Like they'll just kill you every single time.
Ain't no way the dragon resets there. Canucks should just find a pick onto Sam. Oh, Apari flashing with the spell shield in order to save that. Tuxedo already had it blocked. Canuck has ultimate here. They could fish together. Caitlyn's joining the fight. Oh, and Nefiri choosing to go in on Canuck. And Canuck should be able to get over the wall. Morgana dropping the stun. It should come through, but no, actually gets zoned off by Tuxedo. No major cooldowns used. Apari's flash was gotten by the Caitlyn ult.
I just don't think they can kill Tuxedo fast enough if Caitlyn's not getting to hit as well as the Cassiopeia. And if they're able to continuously dive the Caitlyn as effectively as they did last fight, I think this still looks really good for SKT.
Yeah, I think they need Cassio and Morgana to babysit Brian, because he's crucial for them to get out enough damage. He's trying to build for the GA, which I think could help them, but if he's not in fight able to get damage down, they probably just lose. Canuck does have 15 stacks on the Medjais, which I think is pretty significant. But you can't deny the 4K gold lead that's on the side of SKT. That's going to be very impactful.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out, it looks like Omar just completed the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Those slows could actually be pretty huge.
Bursted. Oh, but Albert gets caught by the Vygar cage. And the Fury going over the wall towards him. Jarvan able to just go out, and Apari's just going to die here. He tried to get the last bit of damage onto Jarvan. Lives for a very long time, but that is going to be jungler down. They have no Baron pressure anymore. Flash and heal were expended from Canuck and Morgana. But I think that's worth it to get the mana advantage here.
I guess they don't feel like they can start the Baron. I mean, jungler's dead, but seem hesitant to go for it.
Yeah, Tuxedo doing a really good job of pressuring side lanes this game. Was able to knock another tower down on the bot side. Nefiri looking for a flank here. Is going to get spotted on that ward by Morgana and has to burn the invulnerable. His dogs were not in the right direction.
I mean,
yeah,
really good job from Tuxedo there. Pushing that bot side, like threatening, like, you know, possibly taking an inhibitor.
Faye just getting chunked. Zonia's it, so Caitlyn's going to get that back, and she just uses a trap instead of ultimate. She's happy with that trade. Did buy the GA, which I think is going to be really major. Not just for the revive, but the extra armor is going to be super helpful. And now it looks like Inferno is going to be the one to walk towards Snash here. But they're just completely baiting it. They're hoping someone walks up. Brian
I really
forcing the
think they
W
should
up
have
and
the
just
confidence
walking
to just
towards
start it,
Game
though. You
Case.
need to make Tuxedo answer you. And for whatever reason, they're not willing to start it. First they had Jungle dead, now they have Vanguard dead, and just they
now
won't
I
start
think
it.
No, they're not. Okay, now they go. They've waited a while. I mean, Faye doesn't have the capability to close. Canuck is winning on side lane, so I don't think they need to get the Aatrox to match him.
Yeah, what
Just
they
matters
did
if they can
with
win this
yeah, they're gonna
3v4.
get it.
TP is coming out, and I don't think Canuck has one to match it, but they're able to get the Nash in time. Nefiri taking so much damage. Morgana flashing away. Should be able to live, but Nocturne going for the kill. Morgana trying to stall out for as long as possible and is able to outlive this, but Aatrox is flanking on the bot side, is able to find the kill, but Caitlyn already has 2. They're looking for the play on Tuxedo. Stun not coming through, but now he's caught in the baby cage. Has to flash away. And ultimate going onto him instead of Sam, but the flash out from Brian. He's able to E backwards flash, finds the kill onto the Nami, and now Canuck is just going to obliterate Tuxedo. This is 4-1 in favor of Inferno, and Vigar just not able to join there. That was the whole point of this, and it worked out really well for them.
Bro, every time Vigar dies before the fight, it goes bad for them. Like, they gotta find ways to fight as a unit. They keep getting picked off, and when it goes
Caitlin's
bad, it's
feeling
because
the
someone kind
drive
of
to
died
attack
early,
this
and gold
tower
is
and
back
take
in
it.
Inferno's favor again.
Oh, and Canuck is going to find the kill onto Faye through the cleanse flash. That should secure them this dragon. Tuxedo's barely going to be there. Doesn't have the teleport available, so it's really just going to be a 3v5. That should be sold to Inferno, and they'll have Nash on their back.
If they have a
Jesus
blueprint,
Christ.
there may be an angle for a party. Just look for a steal.
I mean, he's been good
man,
with
I
it.
can't believe SKT is like just completely just butchered like the start to like that Baron like macro play. Like I feel like you just need to just not get caught. Like that's all it is. You have to just like let your Aatrox just be a menace on the side and like pull pressure. But
Yeah,
they
knocks
just
on vision
continuously.
Yeah, they just get this. They have no vision. Nocturne can't even ultimate in. Soul going over to Inferno.
That's massive.
Yeah, I
And
think that is actually just going to be the game.
The Nocturne's just struggling, guys. Like, the Nocturne really not getting a lot of value in some of these team fights. Kind of just going in at the wrong times, and it's hard to see because I thought Apari played such a good game on Vi on choosing when to go in. This game just has not had the same read.
And I mean, I even think in the beginning of this game, Apari was doing a great job. But once we got to the late game, it's been a completely different story there. It's unfortunate. And they're willing to play this game a little slow. They didn't look for much with their Nash other than securing Soul. Next Nash is going to be up in 3.5 minutes. And Caitlyn is full build. And Aurora is 25 stack Medjai's, no boots.
And let's not forget,
scarier
Canuck
than
really
Caitlyn.
got shut out of this game and has just scaled into being an absolute monster. Did not let that kind of early game turnaround kind of keep him from getting his.
Yeah, Canuck's been playing a great game. I mean, we've been talking about the Caitlyn a ton, but he's 12-5 and has 25 stack Medjai's. He looks at you the wrong way and you explode instantly. I think it does help that both, I guess it really just Nocturne has only itemized any armor, and actually same with Vigar. The only MR built is on Aatrox this entire game, which allows Cassio and Aurora to do tons of damage. Okay, this could be a play. He immunes it, and actually, yeah, just Omar's flash was burned there, but nothing else goes down. Both of them using their ultimates. It's a really good play for a game case.
Yeah, getting Omar's flash is pretty huge. Cassiopeia a lot more vulnerable to the Aatrox in the next team fight now. GameCate's fishing, trying to see if anyone will walk up to hit that wave. ultimate almost back up for the Neferi already. Yeah, I'm not sure if Omar, he's just not, he's not really using the ult when he should in that 1v1. Neferi cannot dodge it when she's ulting to him, and I feel like he's just kind of delaying it a little too long.
Yeah, he might not know that's what the interaction is. Because it doesn't even look like he's trying for it. Or maybe we're wrong.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't think we're wrong. He may think she's invulnerable or something, but I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah, and Canuck is just out. Ult expended, though.
Yeah, but you do get his ult out defensively, although that is the, you know, what that is, that's Nocturnal gone, and with Brian's Flash coming up, without the Nocturnal, that's a pretty big cooldown that you can't use towards Caitlyn.
Yeah, and I think the Aurora ultimate should be back up in time for Nash. I think another tower just went down. I believe it was probably top tower.
Nocturnal ult actually a lower cooldown than the Aurora ult, so
yeah,
really
Aurora
not even that big of a deal.
Time for Nash. So dash in by Neferi, but didn't really accomplish anything. Canuck could be... Oh, no, I mean, Tuxedo could be looking for a flank here. All the dogs are just dying there.
Oh man, this one is on a knife's edge. 47 minutes into the game, 25-30. I mean, 47-minute game. SKT looking for their first win in 3 seasons. Let's not forget it. They are this close. Can they close the deal?
I have to say, it's not looking like it. It is not looking good for this team. I feel like the team fights recently have been going generally in Inferno's way, and Canuck is so strong with the full build. But now Vygar full build's online, and that champ does scale a little bit. He's only at 457 stacks, which I honestly don't think is very high for this point in the game.
I mean, I think that you just have a really easy just game to play here for like Albert's Inferno. I don't really see how they can mess it up. I mean, generally, like, I think Aurora can just one shot pretty much like almost anyone apart from like maybe the Nocturne and like the Aatrox, like on the side of SKT.
Yeah,
I think maybe you look for like a side lane pick or something. If you can find Nocturne and Neferi onto someone together, maybe you have like a pick angle, but it's just gonna be hard.
Yeah, and with GA up on the Caitlyn, it's extra hard. I don't know. It just looked like Inferno, who I think has control of this game, just did not want to try to force the play onto Nash. Just wants to make sure that they're all alive for Elder. I think that makes total sense. You could definitely sell the game by overcommitting to a Nash before the Elder, but it looks like they're just going to trade objectives. Both teams just handshaking it. Which I think means that Tuxedo should just die? He's going to try and get out and base, though.
I think he does get it out. Yeah. But I think if you're SKT, I think you're really happy with this result. I mean, like, your Vygar is just going to scale more and more. Like, this is a pretty favorable result. And, like, even though they do have Elder, they still have to, like, siege against Baroned up minions.
Yeah, I don't see how you actually Baron push against a Veigar at this point of the game. Without the Baron, I don't know if they can actually get into that base even with the Elder.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlyn range will help. She does have rapid fire cannon, and I think that plus ulti could kill someone. The question is she going to be able to get in range of anybody who will let her auto attack?
We have passed the 50-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. Is this the longest game of the season so far? It may be.
I feel like it has to be. Certainly would be a way for SKT to get their first series. Although, I mean, it would be a great way for Alberts to get this and then have a shot at a game.
Do you almost... Yeah, I mean, I feel like you almost want Albert to kind of look for something before this Elder wears off.
It's just seeming hard for them to find a good engage. They're just just sieging. Elder's 2/3 of the way gone. They still do have it.
I think Albert just needs to look for something, in my opinion. You just need to find a fight while the Elder's active.
Yeah, they're walking up. They know their timers are low. They spot Game Case rotated away, but the Vigar cage is just slowing them down.
They may have a pick on Game Case. Cassiopeia is not here, but if Elder wears off, I think SKT is just in a really fine spot.
Yeah, and it's there. It's worn off. At least, like, if they start a fight, it won't stick around through it. It's still on them for a couple more seconds, but Canuck actually walks up, and I think that was their last chance to really get much off the Elder. I don't even think they hit a champion while they had Elder up.
It's still
Yeah,
on them briefly,
okay,
but
as soon as it runs out, though, Apari going for the engage.
Apari going in.
Huge ground from Cassiopeia. Stops a lot of the movement going forward, and Game Case's immune is out, but they get, what, half health on the Morgana? And that's it.
Yeah. But if you don't have Baron on Alberts, I don't know how you're supposed to push against Vagar right now. So, unless you're just willing to just dive turret.
Oh, and Sam almost dying.
Maybe you find poke with the Caitlyn, turns into a kill.
Oh,
The
and
siege
Albert
is
going
still
in,
really
but
strong.
it guarantees them the tower.
Oh, Game Case or Canuck went into the Vagar cage there when he tried to go in.
Yeah, but they were out of range. It didn't matter.
I mean, the Aurora chose not to go for Zanyas. This game is vulnerable to potentially getting blown up if he does that at an inopportune time.
Oh, Canuck getting so much damage down into Game Case. The Caitlyn ult comes out, and it's immune. It wasn't blocked.
Oh!
Tuxedo taking damage. It doesn't
I
look
think
like either
Albert
team
has
even
an
wants to
angle
go
there.
for an
He's just being
objective.
hesitant.
They're just trying to siege this down. Tower crusts might help
I think
them.
Albert's being a little too hesitant there.
I completely agree with you, Guru. I mean, like, I feel like that they just need to send it at some point. Like, you can't just, like, let them sit there and, like, just, like, go back to the fountain, like, go heal, and then just, like, do all this nonsense. Like, you just have to send it at some point.
And now they are doing it. They're pulling the trigger here, and the Fury just gets popped immediately. And they almost find their return kill into Morgana, but she gets so many people flashing away from her. And the stun coming out onto Aatrox is perfect timing, but they're able to find a kill with the Vigar onto the Jarvan. And Omar flashing through the Vigar cage. It doesn't matter, though, gets hit with the ultimate. But Canuck on the flank, able to find a kill. Is able to hit Sam. Pulls it back, and boom, that's a kill. And I think they're looking for the finish on the Fae. And Vigar getting another one-shot. I think that was 3 obliterations by the Vigar. Yep, triple kill. It does not matter. Both teams just crossed the 100k threshold, and Brian is going to walk it down on the tower and end the game. Wow.
Guys, how are we not interviewing an SKT player right now? How are we going to game 3? They had it.
Oh my goodness. That is a very tough call on MVP, though. I feel like Caitlyn and Aurora are both very solid options here. But yeah, I'm shocked. I don't.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, honestly, Morgana got a lot of value out that game, too.
Yeah, Draco just flashing on everybody with the ults.
I think you have to give it to Canuck, though. I think that the Aurora, like the Aurora picks, like in team fights, as well as the damage like just being dealt, was just really well done from Canuck. I mean, it wasn't like his job wasn't too hard, but he still like was able to like execute it like at like a very like high pedigree.
Wow.
I'm between the Aurora or the Caitlyn, probably. I mean, Aurora did get behind early, scaled into the game really hard. Caitlyn pretty much ahead the whole game outside of a couple deaths. I don't know, Dean. Break the tie.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to give it to Brian. He was the only member of the team to have a gold lead the entire game. And I mean, I don't think that was necessarily Canuck's fault because I think he got a little camped, but I think Brian played it really well. He had a couple of rough deaths in the mid game, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with really any member of the team except for possibly Albert. I think, as you pointed out, Albert was a little inactive over the course of the game, but the rest of the team just played exactly what they needed to do. I think Draco definitely gives it for style and like playmaking, but Brian just played so cleanly. And I mean, so did Canucks. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough call, but.
And, you know, You called it out, Dean. There was just Draco and Brian did not give you enough in game one. So for both of them to bounce back that well in game two is exactly what they needed. And as you look to game three, you got to think the momentum is in Albert's favor now.
Oh, easily. You get so tilted after losing a 50-minute game. It's absurd. SKT still has not given side select. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But I think they definitely have some stuff to think about going forward here.
And I don't know what you want to go towards now because, unfortunately, with Fearless, the Aatrox is gone. And Tuxedo played a damn good game on the Aatrox, but it's gone now, and you got to find something else. Pools are getting pinched. If I'm Alberts this time around, I think you identify that, hey, we're team fighting better than they are. Let's just draft for team fighting. I think you try to get Albert on something like the Amumu that he's been very comfortable on. You get Omar on maybe like the Syndra or some other sort of mage he's comfortable on, and you just commit to a team fight comp and just say, we're going to out team fight you, SKT.
Yeah, I mean, they've showed that they're capable of doing that. I honestly think the good thing for Alberts is I don't think Jarvan's a very comfort pick for Albert. So the fact that Jarvan's away from the pool, I think he still has a few comfort champions left for him. We saw the Echo and Udyr a lot last season. I think Amumu is an obvious one. Lilia is still going to end up drawing a ban from the other team. Whereas I feel like Pari's Nocturne is one of the champions that I think we've seen him play a bit more often. So I think just in terms of Fearless, Inferno is suffering a little less, whereas I feel like Faye losing Ezreal and Vigar, Apari losing both of the champions that he's locked in, the Nocturne and the Vi. It's
kind of left with just Jhin from what I think is like most comfort.
Yeah, and that's a very counterpickable champion.
If you're SKT, though, you got to flush game two. You got to say, we had a great game one. We had a chance in game two. We messed it up, but this is still winnable for us. And how do you get back to that? I need to see Sam on a carry, or not a carry. I need to see Sam on an engaged champion. He's a good Nami player. Those bubbles were sick. The ults were sick. Get that man on a champion that can carry the game. Nami's not it. He needs to have more ability to carry for them. Apari, you just got to play better. I mean, he had a really good game one. Game two was not it. I think if you can get Sam back on a champion that he can impact the map, start the fights, and you just have Apari play a little bit better, I think the SKT is still in a good spot here because you're getting what you need out of your solo lanes.
Yeah, they've elected to go to red side, so I think Tuxedo getting counterpick will happen for the first time this series, which should be exciting. And I don't know what Alberts is going to look to first pick. Maybe just the Syndra. I think that is the big contested pick that's still here. Potentially an AD carry
something
pick.
Like
support's probably contested.
An AD carry. You could take the Amumu maybe if you just say that's what we want for Albert regardless, but you got to be a little bit concerned if someone on SKT can pilot the Sylas.
Yeah, I mean, almost assuredly someone can. The champ pool the champs that Case and Tuxedo have been playing, I think that really leans in that direction. SKT did say draft would be at 10:40 when they sent it, but I think the game ended like a lot longer ago than that would suggest. I think draft should have started about now, so we'll see if the teams hurry up a little bit. But I'm sure they're both very stressed, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, because I mean, this match. I mean, yes, it's your second match for SKT. It's your first match for Inferno. There's the side story of SKT just trying to find a win. But if you just look at the season, I think you pointed it out before the match started, Dean. This series could be you're in playoffs or you're not in playoffs at the end of the season, based on how the rest of the matchups shake out. This series could be massive. So you really want this one.
Yeah, I mean, both teams really thinking this one over. I have no clue how they move on after that second game. That's just such a mental pressure put on both teams. I can't even switch my game into the next game mode after watching that. So wondering how they are able to do it in their team calls. I think for Inferno, it's a lot easier. They just go, we just got to do this again, maybe a bit cleaner, force some more aggression. For SKT, you had such a big lead. We thought it was unlosable for them at like 2 separate points in the game, and then caster curse successful, I guess. I was not trying to get that to happen. But
I mean, your caster curse was not pressing their ultimate buttons to dive too deep. I mean, that's just, I think they got a little bit antsy, and just, I think, to me, what really sold that game for them, the mid jungle dove too deep a couple times, and Faye just got caught before team fights too many times. The Veigar needs to be the backline carry, and when they were all 5 up, the fights looked good for them. At a certain point, they got scaled against in the late game, but in the mid game where they were winning, if all 5 of them were up, they could not lose. Every time it went bad for them, the Veigar got picked off before a fight started. That's rough, but that's what was happening. You did point out, though, this will be the first time that Tuxedo will potentially get the counter pick, which could be massive because he has been playing well, despite the fact that he's been countered both games.
I think it is going to be very interesting to see like what they actually do with Tuxedo like actually now having the counter pick. I think that so far like in these like drafts, I think that SKT's draft like last game, I think like obviously like the game state like did make it very playable. I mean, coming into the game we said that like we didn't like have like that much confidence in it, but I mean they made it work. The really important thing here, however, is I think that they really just need to play champions that synergize a bit better with their bot lane. Like if you are going to be going for a very like scaling high like amounts of like CC bot lane, like you should probably like want to pick like champs that like work a bit better than that, or maybe a bit more front to back instead of like like picking like that like very heavy dive that they ended up like opting into. It should be interesting to see like whether or not like they decide like this game like that they're going to like opt into either maybe like giving like their bot lane like a bit more agency.
Yeah, and we are going to get the draft here. One thing that we do have a lot of players from the teams in the chat. Tuxedo making it clear to Canuck in chat that you're not going to get that Varus. And SKT actually sniping the Echo. Albert's pool has been pinched through bans and what's been played, and Echo not seen a ban yet this series, but they're going to choose to take it out right now.
Maybe this means Sivir's going to get let through, because I think you need to ban the other 2 champions,
which could certainly be a good first pick.
Maybe they sniped the Echo because they were in the stream chat and they were listening to us talk about it.
Yeah, they saw Mason hype the Echo up and got a little info there because we know. Well, never mind. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if Sivir gets left open. That's certainly a thing you could potentially first pick.
Yeah, they just don't even need to worry about the Aatrox anymore. So this is a really easy Thresh ban. But one of the champions that SKT
are we going to see a Mumu ban? Or are they just going to triple ban Albert, or what we doing here, SKT?
I mean, if they do that, it's going to leave up one of the other champions that they've had permad, which I guess includes.
Yeah, I don't think
Varus.
they're going to let the Varus through. I feel like you have to ban Varus. Varus is too easy to first pick here if you don't ban it.
Oh, and it is Varus. So what? That leaves up Sivir from last game, I believe, and the set from the first game.
Yeah, it does. Shout out Ropedope3 with the Prime sub. We do appreciate that. And there is the Amumu, Albert's Comfort. But I mean, maybe you take Silas here. It can play in multiple lanes and is a really good user of the Amumu ult.
Yeah, and honestly, I think set jungle could be a good counter to the Amumu. The Amumu takes advantage to goes in and you just take him and flip him right back out. Could be an angle there. I don't know how much Apari is prioritizing that champion these days, though. It's pretty easy to draft around. All right, it's going to be the Xin Zhao as the answer to it.
Oh,
they could look to grab a mid jungle pairing here. I feel like that's easy, but maybe they want to grab some of Faye's champions before they get pinched.
Yeah, I mean, Faye, Jhin is still available for Faye if that's what the direction they want to go.
SKT really thinking here.
Yep, taking the full timer, and you are just going to get Sam's Braum. Such a good Braum player. Pairs well with the Xin Zhao. Good into a Mumu. But, I mean, I think this just sets you up for one of Draco's comfort picks. I mean, Draco's such a good Enchanter player, and Enchanters typically have really good matchups into Braum.
Could this be a Mumu support? Could they have flexed it after the Braum kind of? And there goes the Syndra. That's what we were hoping for. So that pick is denied away from Game Case. It's one of the champions to watch for him, and it's actually just going to go over to Omar. I think it synergizes really well with the Amumu, and I think the Amumu and Mundo are both flex picks. We haven't seen much of Mumu support recently, but it's possible that it has a good matchup into Braum, and they
just saw it in our series the other day. Paul chose to play the Amumu support, so I mean it's certainly a flex pick, but Gwen is a champion that's been getting banned a ton, and is going to come through in this last game.
Yeah, and it is pretty damn good into Dr. Mundo top, so I think maybe you're thinking this is into that. And I actually did check the stats. I was curious, and Amumu's worst matchup is Braum, so probably not what's happening here.
Yeah, man, blind picking them. If that's Mundo top, blind picking that in first 3, I think you. Oh man, leaving that Gwen available as the counter pick is really rough. Gwen also pairs super well with Braum.
Yeah, and SKT grab the you can't touch this top side. They have Gwen and Xin Zhao, which is notorious for how annoying it is to play into. You can basically just stall out the fight for a few seconds, which in team fights where that really matters, it's a huge deal. And you get pseudo frontline. You don't even really need to draft that much extra with it. They do already have the Braum.
From stuff that Game Case has played, I think Karma would be such a good pick for him here. Pairs really well with what they've already drafted on their top side, and would do fine into a Syndra, I would think. So you may want to snipe that away if you're Inferno.
Yeah, it looks like SKT skipped a ban at the beginning there.
This would be a great. I feel like this is a good Jhin spot. Well, I don't know. You don't really want to play Jhin into Mundo, but I feel like with the Gwen, you're probably okay. You can follow up from such range. Ashe is also a great pick, I think.
Yeah, I don't see a chat message anywhere that would indicate that they were looking for that ban to be anything.
Rope-a-dope with the 5 gifted subs. We do appreciate it.
I think SKT's second round bans this series have been lackluster at best, although Inferno taking a lot of time to think theirs through, and they're taking the Jhin into the Ashe. Just kind of funny. We thought Faye would be the one picking that, but it does come through. Not a lot of true tanks on SKT. I think it makes sense. You're going to have more of that pseudo bruiser front line, which I feel like Jin's going to have a decent time into, and I'm assuming Brian likes the lane into Ashe. Ashe Karma is a really good combo, and Draco is very comfortable on that champion, so we could see that picked in. I guess never mind, there's a Braum, so there's no threat of that, but we are going to see this rock in. It could have been a way to deny it from Game Case, though. Soraka Ashe, I mean, I kind of like too.
I like the draft from both sides. Like, I feel like Albert's got a lot of comfort for them, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I think the SKT draft, even before I see this last pick, is just really good here.
I think they could like really screw it up with this last pick, though. Like, if you pick Pantheon, you just lose the game. Oh, and they're picking goddamn Gassadin. I think that's quite good here, but I feel like Jhin could find an angle to just pop you. You do have a lot of magic shielding, so maybe a Frozen Heart's going to be necessary this game, but you're going to hate to build that into just the Jhin. But, I mean, that's...
I don't know. I'm favoring SKT hard at this point, but after I saw last game, it always comes down to execution in the game. I think Omar's going to need to get ahead, though, on the Syndra, and Brian's going to need to get ahead on the Jhin.
Yeah, the good news for SKT, though, is their carries are scaling this game instead of ones that fall off so much. So if it gets to like a 50-minute situation, I think their team is insanely favored. However, Jhin, Syndra, and Mundo do scale really hard, too, as well as the Soraka. So this is going to be kind of a nutty late game if we get there. Although if a team is going to win quickly, it's going to be Albert's Inferno. It's going to be really hard for SKT to close this one out quick. I feel like Zin's the only champion that has a strong early game here. Ashe has like some poke, but that's kind of all they're getting.
I think that this game actually, like, even though, like, you know, the Cassidy pick, I do think is like generally good. I'm like not so sure about it. I mean, there is like a lot of CC on the side of Alberts. Like they have a Mumu, like who obviously has like, you know, like the stun, the bandage toss, Syndra stun. There's Jinroot as well, and there's like I think the Soraka silence like in particular is like a really huge ability, specifically against SKT.
That's a great call out. Yeah, the Soraka silence can be devastating for the members of SKT, particularly the Kassadin.
I think you're definitely going to be wanting to like go Merc treads this game into cast like you know as cast, and I think you really need to like you should just rush Mercs. It's pretty good against like a lot of their champions. That the Jhin damage can be kind of concerning, but I think that what you really need to focus on this game specifically is just letting the Kassadin scale get strong. Like then like you know like once like the Kassadin like dings like probably like 11, then you can probably like looking for like those much more like aggressive like skirmishes and fights. But I think a lot of the game is going to be dependent on how like jungle and support play. I think jungle and support actually for the side of SKT pretty much like are just going to dictate the game. Like whether or not like the Braum like you do get like the Braum value and the Xin Zhao value out of like just nullifying like a lot of that high burst on the side of like Alberts.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Canuck looks on this pick as well. I mean, with the Volibear and with the Aurora last game, pretty obviously went for the carry style. Mundo obviously a little bit more of a tank, and we'll see how he looks on that play style. And I think as good as the counter picks were for Canuck when he was picking into Tuxedo, I think this Gwen counter pick into Mundo is the most devastating by far. I think Gwen really has an angle to just take this game over.
Yeah, and on the
Ours
Gwen
are coming
specifically,
out. I think we should be getting the game in about 5 minutes. So just update for those watching.
one of the big things about Gwen is she doesn't really care about a lot of the CC from the side of like Alberts. I mean, the most CC she'll probably end up being hit by, to be entirely honest, would be like an Amumu ult, and then the Amumu has to be inside like her, like you know, the W with her. She's probably not gonna be getting hit by like the Syndra stun or like you know Jhin follow up root, or the Soraka silence is really not gonna be that effective. I think that the Gwen pick against like Alberts like is very like devastating for Albert's comp, like especially if he gets ahead.
Yeah, can we see any matchup statistics here, Dean? I'd be curious, like how favored is something like Gwen into Mundo if we've seen that before.
Yeah, give me a sec to pull that up. I would assume pretty damn bad.
I will say, I think Draco is a very good enchanter player, and in particular, one of her skills on those champions is being very hard to kill. And there's not actually a ton of engage on the side of SKT. I mean, you have Ash Arrow, and then you're going to have Gwen, Apari, or Gwen, yeah, Xin Zhao, and Cass all kind of running at you. But if Draco's positioning really well in these fights, I could see it actually being kind of hard to ever take the Soraka down.
Yeah, I could see that as well. I think one of the things that how I'm like kind of like trying to picture the fights in my head. Like I imagine like you know Amumu like looks for an engage, followed up by like Syndra stun or Jhin stun, and then like the fight breaks out. But I feel like a lot of the damage is gonna like not connect because of like the Xin Zhao and the Braum. But I think a real like problem for SKT is this Ashe is maybe not going to get that as much value. I think like it really depends on like how well like these airs are hitting. Like you know, are they hitting onto like anyone other than like the Mundo or like the Amumu? And Ashe's like game is not very easy to play because having to like kite against like the Syndra stun and also like being like very wary of like the like Mundo and the Amumu like positioned like relative to you is also something that's like very complicated. That can be very complicated and very difficult to play around.
Yeah, it
That
looks like-
mid jungle win rates we're seeing are pretty surprising to me, and the Soraka being 1 and 5 into Braum is really surprising to me.
Jin 3 and 10 into Ashe. Good.
I mean, yeah, that should be an even matchup in my opinion, but
Yeah. I mean, it is what Brian chose to go for on his side, so I think that's a little interesting. Maybe it's probably a little better than it seems like based off of that, but I mean, these are just Scrim Zone ones. I think a lot of it is, which metas that these champions have been picked a lot in, comfort levels of the players playing them, all that kind of thing. But I don't know. We'll have to see how this pans out. Kassadin into Syndra being 0-3 is shocking. Just looking at like the statistics overall, Jin should be slightly winning into Ashe. Soraka again slightly winning into Braum. It's like 51% win rate for both of them. And then Amumu, Xin. Okay, that's actually insanely Amumu favored. It's a 57% win rate for Amumu in that matchup. So I think
and Apari picked the Xin Zhao into Amumu, so we'll see if that ends up being kind of an issue.
Yep. Syndra actually has a horrible win rate into Gwen mid, so we'll see if that holds true. Kassadin is definitely a counter to Syndra, but I don't think that's shocking to anybody here. And the overall win rate of Mundo into Gwen, again, 43%. So I think Mundo and Syndra are going to have a terrible time into this Gwen. I think this game is basically just all on the back of Tuxedo to try and carry this. And I think if Tuxedo can be strong enough just for the Kassadin to hit late game, I think this is just going to be completely wiped for them. But if the team fights are really disconnected, then, I mean, anything can happen. Like we did see what happened last game, but...
You're certainly right. I do think, though, picking the Mundo in the first 3 was a little bit of a mispick, maybe. I don't think there was any ban threat against that. You probably could have got it in second phase, and I feel like, pre-banning something like Gwen in second phase could have been huge for you, but I do think this really is Tuxedo's spot to carry. And, I mean, when we were talking about the series before it started, we were identifying that, what's the new link for SKT? It's this Tuxedo player that's kind of new to the server and has been getting a lot of talk, a lot of hype, and has had 2 really good games individually so far. And I think you're looking at him to kind of carry them this time. I mean, he has the big counter pick.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Game Case probably gets talked about just as much. I think the only difference is that Tuxedo wasn't there for the first series, but I think Game Case has really gotten to shine a lot in these first 2 games, and I mean, if he's able to just have a good game on Kassadin, really either of these 2 characters could probably solo carry the game. Neither of them went TP, both going Ignite, trying to get their leads through early. I think sometimes going the Ignite on Kassadin can be a little bit of a risky move. Maybe going Barrier in lane or Exhaust to keep yourself safe is considered good, but he's just going full aggro once the Ignite. Wants to make sure that he has a lot of agency in fighting the Dr. Mundo 1v1 on side lanes later in the game too, probably.
I'm really surprised that Game Case has actually opted into Electrocute, because I feel like normally it's like Kassadin, especially against like, like a lane bully like Syndra, I feel like you really need to take fleet footwork. And then also
He's disrespecting Omar, I mean, in my opinion, by going for Ignite and by going for Electrocute. I mean, I think Syndra should find an individual advantage in this matchup.
Oh, I don't think that ward was supposed to go there. Omar is getting a lot of damage down in these early levels, but I think once Kassadin hits 6, it should go more in his favor. But if Omar is able to pressure enough, hit the 6 first and find a kill, that could be huge. And that ward not paying off. They're not able to spot a party there, but Omar dealing so much damage to Game Case. Something that we didn't mention in draft is that Ashe Braum is actually a very good combo and something you see a lot when both of those 2 characters are present. Jin Soraka I think is a really good one too, but doesn't have quite the same reputation as Ashe Braum. They have a really good ability to just slow the entire fight down with the double slows. And with how many auto attackers you have on your team, this Braum is going to give you so much value as the game progresses. And Omar is just looking for a solo kill onto Game Case here. Not going to find it, but a lot of damage going down on him under tower.
Yeah, and I feel like at some point in this game, like Game Case, like I feel like you really don't want to recall because you absolutely do not want to like just cede like, you know, like the level 6 timer to like Syndra. But the way this lane's gone so far, he just might have to.
And Canuck, I think, is just going to get solo killed here. He's popping the Ghost, trying to run away, but this is the power of the Gwen, and I think this might be the story of the game. Just trying to waste as much time as possible. He's doing a pretty good job of it, but now Omar's stuck in a bad spot. Does have the flash available, but is probably going to hope for the kill onto Game Case, and I think it is going to be traded back, but I think Apari might be able to get the kill onto Amumu. Gets the stun off, though, and might be able to find the kill, and that's a double kill for Albert. He's back on his comfort, and he starts the game off with 2 kills before 4 minutes.
And critically, Dean, the camera panned away, but Tuxedo gave up the chase. He didn't want to miss farm at turret, so Canuck actually just got out.
That's Rockstar. Canuck not even using the teleport. That's so huge.
I mean, Gwen has created a CS advantage, but I mean, this game, you got counterpicked as Mundo. You just need to hope you don't feed the Gwen and that the rest of your team pops off. I mean, that's kind of your angle. So if he can just avoid deaths, I think it could be potentially okay.
Yeah, I mean, so much credit needs to be given to Albert for playing that fight so well, but it would not have been possible if Omar hadn't laned so well against Game Case in the early levels. Like, Game Case was down to like 300 HP when Albert entered the lane, and I think that was a huge part of that. This mid-jungle duo from Albert's is really shining so far this game.
Yeah, Albert, with that early gold advantage, is going for some damage too. Building Leandri's first, it looks like.
And they might find a play out of Ashe here, getting a lot of damage down. Force the shield out from Sam. 4-shot not going to connect, though. The slows are just so good. You're definitely going to want Swifties on in this game. I mean, you do every game.
But Albert is getting an early drag.
Yeah, I just don't know how you can test it. I think he just has too much damage built. His effective gold is much higher than Apari's.
Yeah, and that's huge, though, because like, how do you win a game before Gwen and Caston get online? You force them to fight you for things like Soul. So getting that early drag this early in the game is big.
This could be huge. He's spotted out on the Jhin trap, but I think he's just going to get the stun off. But they don't target him. They don't target the target with Braum passive, and Soraka able to flash heal and try and kite this out. And Brian, I think, can flash forward and find a kill into Faye, but he's going to prioritize getting to live.
I actually think that was a good call not to go for the Jhin there. You get all of Soraka's summoners, and you know, look at Jin's summoners. He had the cleanse, so he probably could have had an easier time of getting away. I mean, I think that's probably a call by Sam S there to focus the Soraka, and that worked out beautifully.
True. I do not know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I think that Sam also played that like really well as well. Like you saw like the flash, like, you know, like auto Q, like follow up from like the Braum, like to like secure that kill. This game specifically, I feel that SKT, as long as like they're able to, like, to just stay relatively stable like across like mid and bot, I think that like Tuxedo should just be able to like
this could be a
just
play.
Push it advantage even more and eventually
Sun over the wall. Casting is probably going to go over, but one more bandage is present to be able to connect, and he hits both.
Oh!
They might be able to find a kill. This double ultimate comes out, and the kill actually going over to Amumu, but you're just happy that you get the kill before Cassidon ult comes back up. Well played from Albert and Omar.
Yeah, this mid jungle duo
so
doing what they
strong.
can this game. Amumu got to be careful though if he tries to walk at Gwen right now. Yeah, it looks like he's not gonna. Does look like Omar's building towards the Ludens as well, so may just go for that Luden Shadow Flame build as opposed to the burn.
And
Which
Albert might be too
personally,
far
I like
here.
that
He's
a lot
getting
on
collapsed
Syndra.
on by 3 people. Does not have the
Gwen
flash
is
available.
ghosting.
Ash Arrow is going to miss, so I think Albert should just be able to walk this out. And Omar does get Braum stunned, but the fact that he was by himself, his flash is almost about to be up, and I think he still has the E available. He's trying to wait to hit all 3 of them, which he does, but he is just going to fall down here. And they give the kill to Tuxedo. Might comes through there.
Yeah, Cassidy not able to grab an assist, but I mean, nice roam up by Sam. Omar just kind of over pushed it a little bit. Didn't have his flash up at that time. And this could probably just be Void Grubs now for the side of SKT, which is huge for a team that has a champion like Gwen.
Yeah, Dusk and Dawn almost completed. But I think they might be able to get a decent amount of damage down on a bot turret. Ash just playing back, trying to farm what she can. It's going to be a lot harder for her to get these ranged creeps.
Yeah, second drag as well is going to be a Chemtech drag, so that does indicate to us that there may be a
Mundo
pretty
could be in
powerful
big trouble
soul
here.
up for grabs this game.
Yeah, we're doing a really good job. Just immediately goes to Apari's bot side and starts taking away camps. Is going to take away the red buff or the blue buff. I think if you don't do stuff like this, then you can really fall far behind. But Albert doing a good job of punishing. They're actually still maintaining a pretty solid gold lead for how early it is in the game. Brian and Draco looking to poke down enough so that they can look for a kill with the ultimate. But Albert just tanking a bunch of tower shots here. But it might be enough for the Jhin ultimate to kill. He just opens up. Barrier goes down. And the flash as well. If he had just waited out the barrier for the next shot, he could have found it, but I don't think they had vision. But now Cassidy looking to clean this up, and I guess they know? He is going to have to go over a ward here. So he should be fine. Ash Arrow is available, not used yet, but they are just going to get the root down onto Cassidy, and he just overplayed his hand and just gets taken out. Another kill going over to Amumu, though.
Yeah, once again, you're gonna see this over-aggression on game case being punished. I mean, he earlier, he did walk up with a wave that wasn't pushed up entirely, so he didn't get to see the Amumu earlier. But yeah, at this point in the game, I think that as the Cassidy, you really need to be a bit more careful as there's an engage coming in here from Apari.
Yeah, and they're just stalling out for Amumu to get here, and this should be another kill going over. They drop the Syndra ultimate. It's not going to be enough, but I think Syndra should get it. Actually, another kill going over to Amumu with Leandrius. This is a 5-kill Amumu at 10 minutes.
Omar,
is so
dude,
awesome.
do we believe in Albert? That was actually a really well played by Omar, though. He didn't panic. And did you see how long he held the Scatter of the Weak? He made sure not to push him away until Amumu got there.
Soraka just gets popped, but I think Game Case might pay the price for it. He gets stunned up again, and now the Amumu ult gets used. I think one more bandage should do it, and that's 6-kill Amumu! But Brian, having to burn double sum, still gets knocked up. I think he is going to get taken down. Flash is used on Sam. And this is a very close game, but all of the kills are on the Amumu for Albert's Inferno.
Yeah, all the kills are on the Amumu, but I'm not even sure if you really mind that. I think that as long as the Amumu just becomes more tanky and is able to get more space for his team, I think that he can actually make really good use of that gold.
Yeah,
Remind me the team name, Dean?
Get this dragon uncontested, although it was on vision. Sam walking up to help. I just don't think there's anything the team can do. Although if he's just not able to do enough damage, Amumu is pathing, looking to find it. Worst case, he just goes and takes his red buff, which I think is what
needs to be careful though with his shutdown this game because he's gotten all the kills. He actually has a big shutdown. You do not want to accidentally give that to one of the carries.
Yeah. I may play it safe. Just don't go for the dragon. Make sure you get the red buff. And Canuck actually seems to have the HP advantage over Tuxedo. Walks up, and an E could probably kill here.
Oh!
And just gets the solo kill. What the fuck?
How? How does he find that?
What?
How on earth? Man, unfortunately, he denied Albert's 100% of kills, but I think you take that if you're Inferno.
That's so funny. I don't know. If this is the ranked game, you're all chat, nice Gwen counterpick, moron, and you're just happy with it. But now Game Case is looking to get this. Has the Ghost and Ultimate still available, so he's just going to pop the ult, and he's very happy with that. That's not a lot expended. Gwen looking for a flank, though, and Apari's in the area. I think Omar knows that they're both here, going to try to find this the scatter, and just doesn't find it. Tuxedo able to get a kill back.
I think Omar got taken off guard by the fact that Gwen and Apari showed up there, and I think that was a good use of the Hex Gates to get Gwen in that position.
Oh, Gwen just TP'd there.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, she got her upgraded TP and just went to this ward.
Yeah, and that's just a couple unfortunate deaths from Omar when he's just a little overpushed in the lane. These mid laners are really kind of funding the other teams at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate. It
More
feels
than
like,
half
you know,
the
like
deaths in the game.
you're not really like, you know, you could just be swapped like from either side on either team and it wouldn't really have like changed anything. Like how this like, I guess, game is going for both mid laners at the moment.
I still
might
don't
be an
understand how
angle for Jin to
Mundo
open
won that
up.
last fight though. Like I'm looking at the items and I just do not understand. But if he can somehow keep doing
I think
that,
Tuxedo just overstayed in lane. Because when,
too
when
much
Mundo
Q
walked
poke,
up,
maybe?
he was 60% HP and Gwen was like 30.
yeah. Curious what Albert's going to go second item here with all this gold he's acquired. Really ahead of the pace of the game.
Looks to be an MR item, which I think is quite smart. Or is the Gwen and
Although-
Kassadin?
I mean, somehow though, like you look at items, he's really not that far ahead in items in inventory when you compare him to the Xin Zhao right now.
Yeah, and he's actually not sitting on that much extra gold.
Yeah, only 700 ahead, despite 6 kills.
Yeah, I don't really know how that's possible, to be honest. Tuxedo should just be winning this one. Canuck burning the ghost. And Soraka ult is going to do it! He lives!
Oh!
And Albert, looking for the play onto Faye, should just be able to drop the ultimate and get this, but is choosing not to, and instead walks into a parry, and Sam's going to be here too. Jin ultimate is looking to force this fight, and now the ultimate from Albert comes out, but I think he's just going to die. Shut down going into a parry, and that is 700 gold in the parry's pocket, and that is really going to turn the tide of this game.
The Ash will hit the Syndra on the other side of it, so it looks like Omar's not going to be able to get to that play as...
And Soraka's going to get taken down here as well. Brian not even able to find the kill. The summoner heal once again. And yeah, I think Albert just needed to immediately drop the ult onto Faye and make sure that a kill was had, but he held it and it didn't do anything for him versus Apari and Sam. And that's so tragic for Inferno. Just overplaying their hand just like GameCase was doing earlier, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a rough death for Albert. You were playing a pretty flawless game up until that point.
I think a really big part of this also is the Soraka like wish has just been like kind of like down for like a lot of these like skirmishes on the bot side, and as a as a result of like like saving like the top laner, like they have like given over a couple kills that really feel like they shouldn't have, especially like with like the perceived safety of the Soraka.
Gwen just took first turret. Just casually, just walked up. There was nothing that Mundo could do. He based and it's just all gone. I think the power of the Gwen is kicking in here, and Apari now looking to get the second topside objective. The Grubs were helping out a ton there, but they could look for a fight on this topside, and GameCase just getting chunked. The Syndra ultimate is not enough to kill, but Albert should just be able to burn down with the Leandries, and now Tuxedo is looking for the kill onto Syndra, but misses the big ult, or the middle ultimate, hits the big ult, and I think Tuxedo is just going to go down to the Amumu. That's the 8th kill there, but Rift Herald still went over. They weren't able to stop that.
It's actually so unlucky for the Syndra with 7 assists. That's just crazy. Not getting any of that kill gold into Syndra's really slowed what could be a super accelerated Syndra.
8 kill Amumu, guys. God damn.
I need Albert to go full AP. I know that's probably not what you should do, but at this point, I don't know.
The thing is, Gwen has just as much gold as the Amumu and has 5 fewer kills.
Power of turrets, power of farm.
Yeah. It's up.
But I mean, like, Syndra's not even to the second item yet. If you even had like 3 of those kills go onto the Syndra, you probably have the completed Shadow Flame at this point, which would be massive.
Yeah, Omar's rotated down, potentially looking to lane gank. Or
Yeah, it is a hex soul this
Braum
game.
gets caught out, and the Ashe stun is going down onto the Soraka, who is just going to die to start this off. Brian trying to find the damage onto Faye, but Sam's positioning is so good. He blocks every Jin auto, nothing able to connect onto Faye. And now GameCase is here. The minions are going to be enough to take out Ashe and give the first kill over to Syndra.
Yeah, I think everything's going well for Inferno, but your bottom lane, and frankly, I caster cursed Draco. I said the Draco has insane positioning, but I mean, already 4 deaths on the Soraka is not what you need. Needs to play further back.
Yeah, and I think probably Albert might be able to take this dragon. I don't know if he lives off the back of it. He has 2 full items.
He has the
But
ult.
Gwen's
They
going
gotta
to
be
get there
careful
in
here.
time. Oh, and Apari gets it, and this is going to be so bad for Albert's Inferno. But Syndra able to find another kill onto the Kassadin. Braum living for so long, but Amumu ultimate is going to be huge there. Apari falling down super low, but they're not going to be able to find the kill. It's a 2 for 1, but they don't get the dragon. That is a Hex Gate coming out from Mundo. Maybe he'll be able to help with the chase down. That's a Ghost burn from Gwen.
Ghost
And
for
Zero
Ghost
just running
there.
with the tower.
Really big secure
Oh,
by
Tuxedo
Apari
might
in
still
that
die,
fight.
though. Scatter not finding a target, though. Jin,
Jin
opening
ult.
up. Oh, connects onto Tuxedo, but he's out of range now, and they weren't able to find Apari. But I think getting mid-turret actually evens this play out. And
Yeah, I mean, frankly, if
advantage
the
over
Dragon
the
Secure had
SKT.
not come for Apari, that would have been pretty much a straight, only great play for Inferno, but the Drag Secure is big. Man, if you get Hextech Soul on either of these teams, it'd be so strong.
And Apari just getting run down by briefcases here, although the sandwich play is coming out. There's a Braum and Kassadin on the other side. And Apari's had such a great game so far. Really stepped it up from the last one, I feel like. He had such a strong game on the Vi, and we were asking for him to have another one here, and I think he's doing a great job of it.
Definitely.
But now Tuxedo just going to take this bot tower really damn quickly because of the grubs. And the Nash, and the Dusk and Dawn. It is built for taking towers. I have a feeling we might see a Gwen or Kassadin backdoor this game. Ooh, Canuck able to weave that Q through all the Krugs. That's impressive. He did it before they spawned in. Canuck's been playing really well this game. That's a matchup that we thought was like completely unwinnable, and most of Gwen's advantage has been coming from roams.
Yeah, Mundo's somehow the only champ that hasn't died in this game.
That makes sense. If it
I
had
mean,
to be anyone.
into the Gwen, I don't know, but he's doing a really nice job, as you said. Gwen with the heel cut now, though, too.
And that is going to be difficult. Although she did have it temporarily in most fights with the Ignite. Kind of bridged her until this point.
Man, those Qs do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and she's... Actually, I don't think lifesteal is off of damage to minions. So it's going to be hard for her to
Gwen
sustain.
doesn't have a Rift Maker
Oh,
yet,
Namumu hits
so...
this. I think should be able to
Omni-Man
connect with
right
another
there.
Q. But Brian gets hit and had to use his cleanse in the last fight and is just going to end up going down here. Soraka Wish is not going to be enough. And the Rift Herald summoned. They're going to prioritize getting as much as they can off of this one pick. And Canuck trying to kite this out. Has burned the ultimate. But that's going to be mid-tower down and potentially a second one. Although Soraka and Omar have now hit it. And Faye just gets smited out of it and gets immediately engaged on. I don't know why you should have even hopped in there. And now Amumu chasing, looking for another play. Has the ultimate still available. Flash is forced out from Kassadin.
Oh my goodness!
Okay, and
So
Albert
deep.
going in, flashes forward, but misses
Oh.
everyone with the ultimate. But now Gamecase re-engaging. Syndra able to find a pick. And then, the Q comes back up in time. He's able to find another kill.
Has he missed a Q in that fight? I don't even think he did. I think he just hit every single one of
He
them.
whipped his ult on everyone, though. But he hit the Q.
Yeah.
But he hit every damn Q. You're right,
That's
Alex.
for something.
And I mean, I hate to point it out, but I mean, Inferno's really just like as the bot lane goes, they go. Bot lane was not what you needed out of game 1. Game 2, you brought it back for their bot lane. Game 3, kind of the only weak point right now, and it's an even game. I think if the Soraka and the Jhin can stop getting caught, you're in a good spot.
Canuck is caught here, though. I don't see any way you get out of it. Maybe the Soraka can get there in time, but he's just burning down super low. Does not have the ultimate available to him. And there's the first death for him. And I think Brian's dead here, too. He's just up way too far. Oh, flashes away from it, and this 4-shot crit should be able to at least guarantee that they can trade it, but Tuxedo able to find a kill under tower. Game case should die here. Actually, able to dodge away from Albert's bandage, but the next one should get him. Actually, Soraka can get the kill. Maybe they can turn this onto the both of them. Albert's looking for Faye. That's going to be the easier kill, but Sam's in the area
Albert's ult
too.
here.
And this is just such a mess of a fight. Albert is able to find the kill onto Ashe, probably if he drops the ultimate, but he's holding it for so long, and now he uses it at the last possible second, is able to give a shutdown. This time Soraka is able to pick it up, but Apari should be able to find the kill here and should be able to find the second one onto Soraka. TP coming out from Mundo too, and he's just dead, and Albert's Inferno has completely fallen apart. I think this game is probably just over for them unless they can stabilize and get it back together, but they just gave over 3k gold in one very long extended sequence. Mundo dies to start it, and Mundo dies to end it too.
Yeah.
And this is looking so good for SKT. I think this could be their chance.
I feel like I may have heard that before, but this does look
I was a lot more confident
like a good
game.
spot.
You know what? I'll say it. I think it's written in the stars for SKT to win this one. I mean, at this point in the game...
Oh, and Kassadin collapsing onto the Jhin.
Oh my
Almost finds
goodness.
the one shot. He would have gotten the kill if he went back onto him, but he just would rather save his life.
You got to protect the KDA a little bit. Although the 10
I don't know
death
if there's
power
much
spike
to
on
protect right
Kassadin
now,
is
dog.
massive.
I'll be honest.
I don't know. The bot lane of SKT, you see the power that Soraka's putting out with the healing there when she was able to stay alive for such a long time. The Jhin Soraka just struggling to stay alive.
I feel like at
Has
this stage in the
syndrome.
game, Alberts really needs to look for like a 5v5. I think that like they need like these small skirmishes are just not working out. I think that they're just completely outmatched, like just champion wise.
And Tuxedo
And-
finding the angle onto Soraka, and I think should just be able to find it. The Soraka ultimate comes out, but it doesn't matter. The Ignite now goes
Yeah.
down onto Albert, just gets shredded, and now the Gwen's just fully online.
All right.
They just go to start up the Nash, and this should be unlosable for SKT at this point. Like,
I'm
actually,
prepared to say unlosable now after seeing that Gwen damage.
I mean, look
Gwen
at this.
just
Look
too
at this.
good in this spot.
It is Jover.
Very balanced champion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this is just a draft diff. I mean, let's be honest, I think we knew it was going to happen this way from draft. We just thought that maybe it wouldn't because of how the last game went. And now Apari is here to collapse on this. Should be able to pop thing off of Mundo, gets the knockup now that it's away. And now Canucks just hoping to trade something back, but Braum passes back up and they're able to find the kill. And this should just be wraps. The 10 kill of Mumu, I don't think is enough to save this game.
No. Pari with the highest KP on his team as well. Just kind of
Yeah,
been
no, Pari's
everywhere
had
this
a
game. A really
stellar
good
game.
jungle game. Faye also having a nice game. 2-2 and 10 right now. Playing well with Sam.
And Albert looking for this play, could find 3 with the ultimate, only finds 2 instead. Apari might be able to just live this and find a return kill onto Albert, and boom, going over to Game Case instead, and this is wraps.
I'm not sure if Sam meant to do that, but that was actually such a good bait. Like unironically, I guess he just knew he was safe. I mean, he had like all the summoners and also like the Braum W as well to
I
himself to
honestly
safety.
think he can die and it's still worth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's maybe the end of the game here.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for them to stop this, especially with the Mumu down. That's like half their gold, but they're just going to take the out. They grab the inhib, and I don't think actually they can get much off of that. Maybe they'll try it for the next dragon, or maybe they're just going to bait him to walk back into the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a almost 9k gold lead at this point.
Yeah, well, sit back, enjoy your popcorn, and we get to see SKT with
Get
a
ready
win.
for the greatest interview of all time. That's what I'll say if we
Yeah.
close this one out.
I mean, I'm assuming you're saying the greatest comeback of all time because
Yes, like when we get to hear from Albert on how they pulled it off, it's gonna be cinema. But
You can hear about Albert about how he dies right here. Oh, holy
you were
shit,
saying
JK.
me? You were saying?
hey, hold on a
1,000
second.
gold for
saying me?
Omar. There's no way.
Okay, shut down to the Syndra folks.
There's no way. If they don't win this game, they're never winning any series ever. Like, this is in the bag.
Yeah, I mean they're up more gold right now than they were last game, and we thought last game was unlosable. But I really think the difference is this time around scaling is on their side.
Yes.
So regardless of what happens, they can just go late game.
Yeah. I mean, unless they, like, literally just keep running it down. Like, I don't know. Faye and Sam have had a really good game this time too. I think they bounced back. I think the Vygar just allowed Brian to farm too safely in lane.
Yeah, certainly.
But the Morg pick from Draco was really smart.
I mean, Sam also just plays Braum like an engaged champion. Like, I asked for the engage. He is so aggressive with it. It's really good stuff. And I mean, you don't have Mundo here, has TP,
comes
but
down on Soraka, immediately full engage, and they are able to pick it off, and they're able to follow up with the Amumu. That is the entire team fight gone, and this should just be the end of the game. Canuck just getting annihilated here. Brian trying to kite out with him.
yeah, I mean, Soraka cannot die first in these fights for you to even have a chance, and it's a nice Ash arrow by Faye.
Yep. And had the Mikhails too. I think used it on herself. Is that possible?
I believe so.
I don't. Okay. I didn't think so. I thought Soraka was stunned Seer to death. I didn't think that was possible to get it. I guess Ash was pretty close range.
That's a kill.
My goodness.
Ooh, not quite.
That is a dragon though. They now have Hextexel. If there's any chance that they could lose this game, now they have Soul. Albert looking to find one or two of these people, but now casting an ultimate is too short. Oh, but he gets the stun over the wall. Has the ultimate available. He's going to hop back onto Braum. If he can stun both of them, that could be huge. I think he's looking for it. Stun comes down to Soraka again. Ash arrow connecting a second time, but Albert able to set up a double kill for his team. He's going to fall down, and now Tuxedo gets knocked away. This is a man advantage for Albert's Inferno. Apari gets rooted up here. Apari's going to die.
Wait a minute. He's dead as well.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Faye might die here also.
Just wait a second.
Oh my
Faye's,
god.
Faye's not going to die. Ash is too good in the Mundo.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man.
Surely not, right?
Jin W?
Brian.
Goodness.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
Guys, this can't be losable.
at the beginning of that play, you saw Albert kind of making it work. I mean, he ended up like setting up for like the easy, like, you know, Syndra like abilities, like just to line up, and like Omar knocked him down.
This Syndra build does a ton of damage. I mean, Syndra's on 3 items here. A full combo can basically kill anyone.
I just don't know how you get a full combo down onto Gwen, who is now probably just going to run
Gwen is
down
dead.
the Mundo. No Ghost available for Mundo. Ultimate is, though. It's going to be used. Soraka's here.
I think the ult
not
boost
dead,
does
not dead.
Get him down. Yeah.
Tuxedo just ulting the wave. Spell shield's knocked off. Oh my god.
Albert's Inferno fans, do you believe?
Okay. Surely with the Baron, they're able to close out this game.
You'd think?
I think if Brian can just channel the ghost of Teddy here for about 5 minutes, I think you can win this one.
Oh, Teddy's Jin's fucking dog water. Don't even say that. Brian is his own man. Oh, and Albert is caught in the middle of 4 people. Gets collapsed on and takes 0 damage. Actually
Who's
forcing the
caught?
flash on
Casting a
Cassidy.
flash.
Can Gwen just end the game in Dr. Mundo's face? The engage is coming out, and that's a 3-man ultimate. Oh my god! Oh my god! You're killing them.
Gosh, the fate.
Game case goes on to Soraka, not able to find anything.
Gwen's almost there. Gwen is coming from mid lane.
Oh, it might not matter. The whole they're just gonna get
suck the
Nash.
Baron.
Bro,
This is
there's no
Nash.
way.
There's no way. There's
What?
no way they're losing this.
I think Gwen can 1v4 here, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I think so. She's not gonna try though.
There's no way.
What?
They actually lost that team fight. It's unbelievable.
No way, bro. Why are
I mean,
we
Gwen
fighting
wasn't
without
there.
Unbelievable that
Gwen?
they lost that team fight.
Why are we fighting without Gwen? Ash walked so far up there.
Oh my god. Oh.
Objective bounties have fallen off. It's less than a 2k gold lead now. It was a 9k
Guys.
gold lead almost.
What are we doing?
Syndra just got a full void staff.
Oh my gosh. This is...
This is a game that Syndra can carry at this
All
point.
they need to do is win one fight. You get Elder, you probably win the game.
No.
Gwen may need to go to a Zon. I don't know. I think you just need a team fight with Gwen, but oh my goodness.
I think you do just need a team fight with Gwen. I think that like there is a point where it Tuxedo, like you don't really need to go to the side anymore. You just need a group with your team. Like you just push with them and fight with them.
I like don't even know what to say anymore. Like how I like for sure like this. Oh,
There's no way, bro.
there's no.
Okay, the big news is the Cassidon is going to be hitting level 16 soon. So,
True.
Oh, there we go.
yeah.
Level 16 Cassidon. He has 3 items to Syndra's 4.5.
The 10 death power spike has come online after that last fight as well.
That's true. Gold
Syndra
check.
with the arm guard now too. Syndra with the Seeker's arm guard.
Oh, and actually they
Omar's
might
in
not
prime
even have a
position to go
gold lead.
huge.
They might not have a real gold lead because Gwen might have gotten a bunch of overgold and not able to spend any of it.
True.
I mean, actually, at 19k, it looks like it.
And
Uh-oh,
Canuck
Muno's in
probably
trouble,
gonna-
though.
He just has to burn the ultimate at some point. I don't think she can kill him fast enough.
Oh, hey, watch Omar. Omar's trying to sneak over here and surprise the Gwen. If you can get a pick off here, that'd be massive.
Or Omar might die. Her field's gone though. And he
W's
hits the
gone,
stun,
yeah, the stun
and that's a
connect.
dead
Oh my
Gwen.
God.
He didn't even need
Oh
to use
my
ult.
goodness.
He has TP.
Wait, they have-
but
they have TP,
they've called
they
the
have
play.
TP, they can
Syndra
shoot
needs the
this
TP
Elder.
in here. Sam gets a 2-man knockup. TP coming
No.
through, and Soraka has to burn the ultimate, but
really?
Amumu gets a 3-man stun!
Oh, this
And
is-
Omar's in the fight. Apari dashing back in, able to live still, but Apari gets taken down. They find the stun
No.
onto game case.
No, it's wrong.
Oh, they find the kill. This is 3. Canuck's gonna end it.
it's wrong.
Sam's gonna get sniped. Sam gets
No,
sniped.
it's
Brian
wrong.
hits 2. There's no
No,
way.
no, let's go.
There's no way.
There's no way. There's no way they're gonna lose. Oh my gosh, it's so wrong. It's so wrong. It should never happen.
What?
That was such a smart. That was such a smart play by Omar, though.
just hit-
You know you have teleport, and I'm not gonna lie. Soraka, Draco needs to back up. If Draco's got to stop getting caught, that's the only reason that was even close. The Soraka
What?
needs to stand further back. But that was such a good play by Omar.
Does Tuxedo have TP? Does Tuxedo have TP? Up in 5 seconds.
Okay. 5 seconds. I mean, he can go to that tribush, the ward in the middle of the river. Does he?
Oh, he must not have the TP. He must not have the TP.
He must not.
And that's Elder
Yeah,
on
looks like
every
it's gonna
member
be
except
Elder.
Amumu.
Oh my goodness.
Syndra with Elder here is just absurd.
Hextech
And Omar
Soul
still
plus
has his
Elder
flash,
would have been
man.
game
I don't think
ending
it's actually
for
that easy
sure.
for Gwen to ever touch Syndra now.
Oh my goodness. Syndra full build.
Okay. I think at this point in the game, I think what you need to do if you're SKT, just let's not fight them with the elders on. Let's just wait. Like, let's play the waves.
Well, they need to
Wait
not just be
for it to
completely
drop.
scared off, because if they don't walk up, if someone overextends, they could be giving up the game that way. If you just give too
Yeah,
much
yeah.
pressure, you can get walked
Well,
down.
hey, let's remember, guys, too, though. We saw last game, Alberts was really hesitant to actually look for a fight while they had the Elder buff. This game, I don't think you can afford to do that. We need to see them make a play while the Elder's
Yeah,
online.
They might be looking for a play on Gwen. They're running out of time on it, though. It's almost at half. They just backed
You
away
have a
from mid
movement
lane.
with Flash. I think you got to go fight.
Syndra's not there, though, and doesn't have TP.
Yeah.
Oh, but Faye walking up.
Oh!
Oh my goodness. If this hits,
Oh.
that kills.
Okay. I think it's fine.
The deadly
And how
flourish.
Cassidon's rotated
barely
away. It's
missing
Mundo
same
versus Gwen in the
face
bot
life
lane. They're 4-manning mid.
That's what you should do. Just flash the Amumu onto people with Syndra in range. This game can be over.
2/3
Gwen
of
is
Nash
knocking
up.
about a threat
2/3 of
and
Elder
end.
gone.
Ah,
They just need to walk up and hit.
almost gone.
They have like more than a quarter left still. They have another wave at
Okay.
least. Oh, they almost found the damage onto Apari. They need to fight around this wave, though.
Amumu just
walking
has
away.
to send it on this wave, in my opinion.
But
he's not.
They're just a bit too scared.
They're walking to Nash, maybe?
You're not getting any stronger than you are right now. I mean,
Oh, now maybe? once again, SKT knowing the timer and just pulling it right as the Elder's about to run out. They actually have a decent amount of time on it left. I think they're just using it to soak up pressure and try and force a Nash. They could have ended the game there.
Yeah, if you lose this game as Alberts, you're going to look back at that push right there and just say we should have had the confidence to pull the trigger. But still very much in this if they can somehow find a good angle.
Tuxedo might be caught here. Scatter used. Oh my god, that was just the... that almost killed. Tuxedo is here though, was able to spell shield the first spell. So not able to proc the Jin root. But they're just doing Elder. I mean, they're just doing Nash up here. That should just go down. And the arrow hits onto Albert. But they're looking to counter engage here, but they're not going to be able to stop the Elder. They might, or the Baron. They might be able to kill off the back of it though. Jin opening up.
I think they just
And Albert finding the play onto Kassadin. And a Syndra there. They're going to kill Kassadin.
Oh man, I really don't like how Alberts has played that last sequence though. I feel like you really had your opportunity to close this one, and now you've given them Baron.
Yeah, this is rough. It feels like neither team knows how to end a game. This is really hard. Oh my goodness. This is anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Gwen has been full build for I don't know how long now.
See, now they need
You're
to
not
force a
getting any
fight while
stronger.
Kassadin's down, and they're going to find it. Albert walking up. If he hits another thing on Apari, but Soraka gets hit with another arrow. No Ash arrow for the next fight. Oh my goodness. Brian was in
maybe
base.
there's an angle to pick off Gwen, but playing pretty far back.
They rotate enough people, it's possible. It's like they're looking Tuxedo. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get another Elder.
Yeah, they have Hextech Soul, by the way. Like, this is such a hard spot for Alberts, but they're continuing to stay in this.
Kassadin's now trying to join here. And I think this is SKT's chance to pull the trigger on it. But they find the stun onto Ashe, and she almost just dies. Apari forcing his ultimate out.
Yeah,
Flash
Ashe having to
coming out from
flash
Ashe.
there.
If that bandage hits, that could be game-changing. They know where the
I will
Kassadin
say,
is.
the longer this game goes on, the stronger the Kassadin is actually getting. That was the champion that was the furthest behind this game and is getting close to a death cap.
They're looking for a play on Tuxedo. Albert's needing to 1v3 on the top side of the map, though. They take the spell shield off of the Kassadin, and now they're rotating up onto Apari. Oh, Apari flash burned. The ultimate coming out from Jin, not going to be able to find much. Now Tuxedo just looking to hit objectives. And Tuxedo might just be able to end the game by just walking forward and hitting tower. But now they're looking to collapse on the Tuxedo. And he scares them away with the ultimate.
He's just so fast.
It's just not enough. They're looking on Albert, and they almost find the pick on the Albert, but Albert goes in, hits the ult onto two, and they are able to turn it. They get both here. Sam might be able to live, but no, Albert hits once again. Generational performance by Albert this game.
Wait, Elder's up in 40 seconds.
Oh my god, they did it again.
They'll be right as it spawn, or right after it spawns, 10 seconds after spawn.
There's no way.
They just do it on start if they have everyone there. And that looked like they had Albert. It looked like Albert was dead. I like panned there and I was like, oh, we missed him dying. And he lives. Full build of Mumu. What will it do? Ashe is only at 4 items. Jin's at 5. Brahm's at 3.5. If Apari can steal this...
I mean,
Or
if
Kassadin
you get
and Gwen
if
can
SKT
end.
gets Elder, I think they can just end the game.
Yeah,
Gwen
I mean,
will
they
do
have-
too much.
They have Hex Soul. It's
Kassadin
so
will do
easy
too
to
much.
apply it. But this is just
But-
me. What? Zin isn't even... Apari doesn't even want to contest. I mean,
All right. I mean,
if
I
their
can kind
last
of
Elder
understand that.
was
because
worth anything.
If you die,
you have two
your
Elders
bottom
and lose
dead,
the
you
game.
have to give. But if they cannot end the game with a second Elder, pack it up. Like, Amumu just needs to go press Q on anyone while the Elder buff is active this time, and I think you have the angle to close.
Okay,
We cannot play scared this time.
I said earlier, I don't think SKT is winning a series if they can't win this one. I'm going to say it now. I don't think Alvarez and Inferno could win a series if they don't win this game with 2 Elders.
Yeah, this is a huge series.
Just everyone group and push mid, guys. Just do it. Tuxedo looking for the play on Canuck. Ignite
He's in trouble
dropped.
here.
No ulti. Or he just got it.
He just got it, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Oh, the wish has to be used. Actually, I don't think they had to use the wish there. I think they could have just... I think Draco could have
It
just
was
held
close
it.
though. It was close
It'll
though.
be up while Elder's still up, I'm pretty sure.
You can't risk him going down. But
my
like at
God.
this point,
Albert looking for the angle.
Albert just has to find the angle.
He doesn't have flash this time though.
Engage on anyone. Just walk down mid, guys.
They are.
Please.
I think Syndra's here this time. Just walk forward.
Syndra could just flash stun and end the game herself at this point. Like, we gotta just make the play.
Okay, they're
Someone
grouping
just has
this
to go.
time. Mundo has TP.
Jen should just ult next time they get a wave. I mean, just anything. Faye walking so far up.
Oh my god. Oh, that's a
Cassidy
flank
is
from
lurking
Gwen.
really far behind.
Flank from Gwen.
That's on a flank.
This could be a huge flank.
They find damage onto Apari though. Not enough to kill. Cassidy and Gwen flanking.
They see him cutting the wave though.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Oh my goodness. Can we click on somebody? How long on Elder? Yeah.
1/3.
1/3 left.
Yeah. Okay, this Elder I feel like was less their fault. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, yeah, kinda. It just.
In the last one, they definitely could have walked up and ended. This time, the Gwen and Cassidy macroed it really well. Waited for them to push up, cut the wave.
I don't know, man. If I'm Syndra here, I'm just walking up and flashing myself. Like, we gotta get this fight going while the Elder buff is active. You have to.
Well, it still is. And Ashe and Xin are up.
Syndra has an
Mark
angle
on the
here.
angle. They're opening up with Jin.
Oh,
And Ashe
no
is just
flash on the
dead.
Ashe.
He's
There we
dead.
go. Cassidy's looking for the back line, though. They just need to push. But Cassidy's still
Wait,
He's
cutting the
gonna cut
wave.
the wave. He's gonna cut the
They need to get the
wave.
wave. Someone needs to get the wave.
And Tuxedo's looking to flank him when they overcommit on this.
They have a cannon. I don't think it's enough though.
That's not gonna be enough. You're right.
Oh, and he
Yeah, it
just
looks like they might just go for the bear. I think it is just the Baron Nashor here
Yeah. I mean, Faye's not
So,
alive.
to extend the game a
Gwen
bit
could look to
longer.
end the game, though. TP's still available
Yeah,
for knock.
Somebody has to match Gwen, or she can just potentially end.
I mean, they might just kill this way fast enough.
Yeah, the wave's
It's
not going to be
super
there in
late
time.
game.
Can Apari look for a
Syndra
steal?
getting so much damage down onto the Braum here. Mundo basing. Apari going in for the seal, does not find it.
Gwen's still pushing.
Don't forget about Gwen. Okay, Mundo's back. Mundo's back.
Oh, they find Sam.
Sam might be in trouble. Oh, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and Cassidy looking for the flank here. And they're TPing in. They're looking to full commit
TP
to
in?
this. Gwen's TPing away. And Mundo
Mundo
doesn't
has
know.
TP as well. So he chooses
Mundo's
TP.
not TPing. Apari takes so much damage, forces his ult out. Now Mundo's TPing. It's huge damage from Syndra. Triple ultimate on Amumu. Apari's going to die. But game case on the backside, but he just gets popped. And then Albert's Inferno does it. Albert's Inferno does it. What the hell?
There's no way. There's no way they lose. There's no way they lose.
There's no way. There's no way.
Mundo has
There's
8,000
no way they
HP.
lose.
Albert's
Oh my
Inferno.
gosh.
Albert's
This is
Inferno does it.
Scrim's history.
They're gonna
This is
lose.
Scrim's own history.
They're gonna lose this game. 2 elders. Like 3
Hey.
Nashors.
Who's our MVP this game, guys? Is
It has
gotta
to be the
Albert?
Amumu.
It's gotta be Albert.
I think it is the Amumu.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
Omar
Coming up
played-
close.
I
Omar
mean,
is amazing, but they don't
one
stay in the game if not for Albert.
That's true.
I don't know. I think like realistically it should probably be Omar, but the Amumu had like 10 kills at like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Dude, what
But-
did we just watch?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, nothing is real anymore.
We do got to shout Canuck out too. He had the hardest matchup that game and kept like Gwen got strong, but Gwen did not end the game through side lane. He did enough to prevent her from ever ending the game, avoided solo deaths as much as he could. That was about as good as a game you probably could have played on the Mundo pick in such a tough matchup.
Okay, let me pull Albert real quick. I don't want to keep him up too late, but Albert, congratulations, first of all. What the hell did I just watch?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I was really scared there. I thought we might have lost it a little bit. I did lose hope, but you know, we got one big team fight, and then I think we did pretty good with the momentum in the second and the third game.
Yeah.
You know, we win one fight, and then kind of just starts happening for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think an element of this that I think we didn't touch on during the cast. I don't know how close you guys are with Sam. I know Teddy and Sam are really close. I think you know how much he cares about trying to get this first win with SKT. You guys put up an insane fight to stop it. Was it enjoyable getting to play against a presumably close friend of yours?
Oh yeah, no, it was really fun playing against SKT. I am sure they're gonna get their win this season. They have too good of a roster to not get this.
right, and then how are you guys feeling with your new roster? Lispy's gone, and you guys have adapted really well. I think picking up Canuck was a really good move. He looks super solid. This is, again, a chance. You guys have landed in 7th a couple seasons in a row. Do you think this is the season you guys can qualify for playoffs?
Okay, wait, hold on. Dean, I was going to say this on the first Scrims on it. We got 4th last season.
Did you?
Yeah, we lost against Rift Sharks in like the 3rd, 4th place match.
I'm tripping balls.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait, we made it pretty far last season.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, our hope is to get a little better this season.
I must have just pulled up
happy.
Season 9 twice in a row when I checked. Yeah, okay. I'm just lying.
Yeah, Season 9, we got a little unlucky, that FF.
It's okay. No one called me on
was a
it
little unfortunate,
until now.
But what is it? Yeah, Season 10, we did a bit better. We're hoping to be a bit better this season. We have an actual, dedicated top laner, because last season, while Brian and Draco are very good top laners, they are both off-rolling when they do that. Draco is mainly a support player, and Brian is mainly ADC. So it's fun getting them on their main roles for this season.
Yeah, they
Albert,
had an
I just wanna
incredible
say-
second game.
Albert, all I can say is that series was awesome. Your Amumu in particular, that 3rd game was just so good. I mean, how did you feel? At one point in that game, you were like 8-0 or something, or 8-1. I mean, you were so strong.
Yeah, that felt a little rough because I did try giving some kills to my teammates, and then it just didn't happen. Like, I remember there was one where I was like, I stopped autoing it, and then just like Andrew's burn got it. Because, yeah, I mean, they had a very hard scaling comp. I got really scared that Cassidy and Gwen would take over, so I tried giving the kills to, Omar when I tried camping Cassidy. But, I think it ended up working out. I ended up being strong enough to, chunk them out really hard in the fights to where my teammates can finish off.
Yeah, I mean, it was hilarious that Omar's first kill of the game was given to him by minions. Like, you try your best to give a kill to him, and minions do it.
Was that the one where Faye was autoing the minions?
Yeah.
After everything? Oh, yeah, good for him getting the kill there. Good for Omer.
All right, well, I would have stopped because, oh my god, it is 3 hours and 43 or 34 minutes in. I'm losing it, but
And it's an
excellent series to you.
Shout out, Dean.
I am excited
Shout out,
for
Alec.
y'all's next game because, my god. If it's anything like that, I will be very excited. And we get to see you guys play.
Hey, it's the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That's the real Super Bowl, remember?
Super Bowl.
True. After
There it
Bad
is.
Bunny, we'll be putting on our own show.
All right. We'll see y'all. Thanks everyone who watched. Uploading this VOD will take a little bit because I need to stitch together the first 5 minutes that I streamed on the wrong channel. But oh my god, everyone watch this again and again and again. We need to make this the most viewed video on YouTube because holy shit, that was an insane series. But congratulations to both teams. I feel like we got to see a lot of good stuff at SKT, as well as obviously Inferno in their debut series having what honestly might be the best series of the season. Right off the bat, because holy shit, that was amazing. But yeah, 10 great players that we just got to watch play. So really enjoyed it. And thank you to Guru and Alec for co-casting with me. And thank you to Albert and the rest of the players for giving us a great series.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Have a
Peace.
good night.